myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
And just like that, we are halfway through the week. Good morning. This is Expresso, your feel-good breakfast show on S3. I'm Zoe Brown.
I'm Jamie Dominic, also reporting live for duty. And of course, it is a Wednesday, yes, midweek. And every Wednesday we showcase an animation from the animation school. And this week's one is called Decaf. And they usually have a message behind it. And I'm sure by its title, you can tell it involves coffee and perhaps some caffeine gone wrong.
Oh, very exciting. I'm looking forward to that catch up. And then, of course, you know, someone that always we love having on the show is Vicky Davis, Pasella presenter. She'll be joining us, as well as we'll be catching up with parenting expert Shanaz Moos on how to manage hyperactive kids. Is Luca hyperactive?
Something I know all too well. Actually, this morning when I got dressed in this white, I was thinking I could never wear white with Luca. Because 2 weeks ago we went to the Lion Park and I took him obviously to see the lions.
But you wore white shoes.
I wore white shoes.
Mistake
and
number one.
That was mistake number one. Number two was just letting him run. He ran wild. I was running after him for the entire hour. Did not get to see any of the lions. I should go back without him. But yeah, he's hyperactive and sometimes it does get very overwhelming, but luckily we have people like Shanaz Moos to guide us in the right direction with our kids. So you want to stick around for that for the next 3 hours. We're going to, of course, entertain you, inform you, but also connect with you on social media. And someone who is buzzing to connect with you on social media this morning in his polar neck, everybody, is Mr. Graham Richards.
Yeah, welcome to my neck of the woods. Very good morning, ladies. Morning, my amazing crew and team. And of course, good morning to you. My name is Graham Richards. Great to be connecting with you on this Wednesday morning. We freewheel from here down until the weekend. So many questions I have to ask. I'm wondering if Shanaz has got advice for children who have hyperactive parents. But I certainly fit into that classification. I've got a boy that has boundless energy, so can't wait to get some gems from her. But of course, we love connecting with you guys, and we've got a couple of important questions. I'll tell you one thing, I get asked this literally every interview that I do. What advice would you give to your younger self? So if you could give your 16-year-old self life advice, what would it be? Mine would probably be along the lines of just shut up, dude. Shut up and listen to people, okay? Stop talking so much. But it's an opportunity for you to share those deeper life goals and maybe reminisce, reconnect with your younger self. Let us know if you love where you've gone with your life, if there's advice that you still feel that you need to give. Put yourself in a 16-year-old's shoes and let us know what you would say to that version of yourself. We'd love to hear from you. You can connect on our Expresso Morning Show Facebook page. In fact, all of our social media platforms are open and there for you. But let's get this ship out of port this morning. Let's get our official duties underway with those news headlines.
Thank you, Graham, and I'll start with national headlines. More than 1 million people have now been vaccinated against COVID-19 in SA. Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize said of these, 479,768 have been vaccinated under the Sisonke protocol and 565,336 under phase 2 of the rollout program. He also announced that there were 3,640 new cases of COVID-19 recorded in the past 24 hours and 95 new COVID-19 related deaths. 44 in Gauteng, 27 in the Free State, 9 in the Western Cape, 7 in the Northern Cape, 5 in KwaZulu-Natal and 3 in the Eastern Cape. And staying with local news, meanwhile, with primary school pupils returning on full-time basis from next month, teacher unions have asked to be prioritized for the COVID-19 vaccination. They also wish the Basic Education Department to monitor the third wave of coronavirus infections before pushing ahead with the decision to fully reopen primary schools in 6 weeks' time. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga announced on Friday that all primary school learners and pupils at schools catering for those with special education needs would have to attend school on a daily basis from July 26th. And moving to news abroad, environmental campaigners have warned that exports of fish meal and fish oil from West Africa are depriving more than 30 million people a year of food. A report by Greenpeace Africa and the Netherlands-based organization Changing Markets urges governments to phase out processing of fish which is fit for human consumption, presently being used for fish meal and oil. The report says the industry is devastating coastal communities and undermining food food security in Mauritania, Senegal, the Gambia, Mali, and Burkina Faso. And staying with news abroad, the Brazilian city of Serena's death rate due to COVID-19 has fallen by 95% after most of its adults were vaccinated. Serena was one of the cities in Brazil that was the worst affected by COVID-19. Researchers have launched a study to study the vaccination campaign, which was launched. The CoronaVac vaccine manufactured in China was used. Brazil was hit hard by the pandemic with a death toll of some 463,000. Researchers say the pandemic could have been brought under control if 75% of Brazilian citizens were vaccinated. And next, sharp-tongued Tanny Evita Besaidenout calls out Vax Us. Western Cape Premier Alan Windey yesterday wrote in Tanny Evita Besaidenout, entertainer Pieter Dirk Uys's alter ego, to kickstart the provincial COVID-19 vaccination rollout in rural towns. The pair teamed up at Westbank Community Hall in Malmesbury, where Tanny Evita, who lives down the road in Darling, pronounced herself very relieved after being vaccinated. She said, and I quote, "Many of my generation don't know how to register. If you know how and someone doesn't, please help them to register. My son de Kock registered me. I couldn't get the little blue letters on the screen to turn black." Well, Windy says he was a very big fan of Tanny Evita's. He thanked her for once again leading from the front in our country, and by having the jab, said Windy, she was helping to send an important message to residents across the province that the vaccine is safe and offers excellent protection against COVID-19. Western Cape Provincial Health MEC Norma French Mbombo said Tanny Evita's willingness to be vaccinated publicly would help to overcome vaccine hesitancy as the province aimed to double last week's tally of 6,000 jabs per day. Well done, and thank you to Tanny Evita from all of us here at Expresso. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's a first look at your sport with Graham.
Insurance specifically designed for fearless women.
Thanks so much. So let's start with tennis. Obviously, tennis dominating at the moment with the action playing out at Roland Garros. Not the best news from a South African perspective as Kevin Anderson made an early exit from the French Open. That was after losing to South Korea's Kwon Soon Woo last night. Big serving South African losing 5-7, 4-6, 6-2, 6-7 to the 96th ranked player in the world. Fellow South African Lloyd Harris did ease past Italian Lorenzo Sonego in straight sets, 7-5, 6-4, 6-4 in 2 hours and 19 minutes. Harris, who is the South African, I think the top-ranked player in the country, will now face Brit Cameron Norrie in round 2, but that'll be tomorrow. And of course, the king of clay back in action. Rafa Nadal started his bid for a 14th French Open title, seeing off Australian Alexei Popyrin in the first round yesterday. The 34-year-old Spaniard, who is seeded 3rd at the Grand Slam, fought back from being 2-5 down in the 3rd set to beat Popyrin 6-2, 6-3, 7-6. Nadal will now be up against French tennis player Richard Gasquet in the Roland Garros 2nd round. Then in the women's draw, world number 1 Ashley Barty advanced to round 2. That was after beating American Bernarda Pera 6-4, 3-6, 6-2 in the end. Then great news from a South African perspective this time round. South African MotoGP rider Brad Binder will remain with KTM until 2024. The team announced this yesterday. The 25-year-old won his first Premier Class race and secured KTM's first MotoGP victory at Brno last year. Binder now has signed a 3-year contract extension with the Austrian factory. This means that he will be at the team for 10 years after coming up through the ranks from Moto3. MotoGP returns to action in Spain this weekend for the Catalan Grand Prix. Binder is currently in 8th place in the overall standings. And then on to cricket. England will play host to New Zealand at Lord's Cricket Ground in the first of 2 tests starting today. But the hosts will be without some key players, including Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer, who are both out with injury, and Jos Buttler, Johnny Bairstow, Sam Curran and Chris Wokes all being rested. Kane Williamson will lead the Black Caps in front of roughly 7,000 people at Lord's as Joe Root captains his home side. And day 1 of that first test will start at midday today. Should be quite a spectacle. Well, that's where we leave our sport for this hour. Let's see how the skies are looking in your neck of the woods.
Thank you so much, Shee, for that sports update. But also, we're taking the time to thank all of you, our viewers, that take the time to share your sunrise views with us. Now, regular contributor Fateh Khan shared this beautiful image captured overlooking the harbour in the bay, with clouds scattered across the skyline and the sun just starting to peek through in the distance. Now, of course, for you today, Richards Bay, you can expect a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius. Another regular coming through this morning is Gary Aukamp, who shared this burnt orange photo of the sun rising over East London earlier in the week. Today, however, will not be a hot day, and I'm so sorry to say that, but do expect rain throughout the day and a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius. Of course, if you'd like to see your photo featured during one of our weather segments, it's really simple. Head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo and location with us. We also have a growing community of international viewers who tune in daily via the Africa channel and YouTube, and this morning we are heading to the city of Rochester, located in the state of New York. Rochester was one of the United States' first boom towns, initially due to the fertile Genesee River Valley, which gave rise to numerous flour mills, and then as a manufacturing center, which spurred further rapid population growth. Now, the city experiences 4 distinct seasons throughout the year, with winters being cold. Temperatures can reach as low as 18 degrees Celsius. However, today you can expect a mostly cloudy day with a couple of showers in the afternoon, reaching a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. Now next, let's hear where things stand weather-wise. Lesotho woke up to a winter wonderland yesterday morning, with the Maluti Mountains covered in a blanket of snow. 2 centimeters of snow fell during the night, bringing the first winter snowfall. Annually, the snowfall attracts visitors from across the country. However, due to the pandemic and the subsequent lockdown restrictions, it's fairly quiet at the moment. Now, the South African Weather Service has warned of a low-pressure cut-off system that will result in cold temperatures. The low-pressure system will bring 5 to 15 centimeters of snow over Lesotho and the southern Drakensberg Mountains in the Eastern Cape. Meanwhile, the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Cooperative Governance has warned residents to plan trips carefully amid the prediction of snow in coming days. The Weather Service says towns such as Underberg and Kokstad can expect more snow. Storms, thunderstorms and cold temperatures are still forecast in the province until this Saturday. Staying with the weather, here's a first look. We start with you, Paula Kwane. Do expect a low of 5 today, peaking at 18. Sunshine coming your way, Umbombela, ranging from 10 to 23. Pretoria for you is a low of 6 and a high of 17. Johannesburg ranges from 4 to 14 today. Mahikeng coming through with a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 18. Klerksdorp for you, it is 116. Kimberley following with a low of 5 and a high of 18. Bloemfontein ranges from 4 to 18 today. Richards Bay following shortly with a minimum of 13 and a high of 21. Pietermaritzburg, rain is coming your way with a low of 11 and a high of 15. And then South Africa's playground Durban, also rain coming your way, ranging from 16 to 20. Mthatha, 9-13. East London, rain also coming your way with a minimum of 14 and a high of 8. Craddock, 6-16. Gqeberha for you it is 13-19. George, 12-17. The mother city Cape Town, partly cloudy conditions ranging from 13 to 19. Worcester, 7-19. Sutherland, 2-14. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington coming through with a minimum of 7 and a maximum of 20. That is where I leave your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, thank you, Jamie G. It looks like you're dressed for today. You're ready for the cold.
This jacket has fur everywhere. It's so nice. It's
Well,
like
how does a strawberry and coffee smoothie sound? We're going to be whipping that up a little bit later on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and Vicky Davis joins us for that.
Great to connect with one of the family there. And then speaking of the family, we are dealing with our hyperactive children this morning. I joke about it, but it can be quite a daunting prospect for a parent who's got a child that just has boundless energy. Shanaz Moas, our registered parenting expert and good friend on the show, is going to take us through all you need to know. Stay tuned.
Oh, you can make my day.
is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3, and we have something really adorable for you. Now, how's this? When a cute pup wants his little kitty friend to get some energy to start off the day, he seriously underestimates just how much a bit of a kick, a small bit of caffeine can give.
Now watch this cute story in the following animated short film called Decaf, made by third-year students from the animation school in 2017.
Oh, that is adorable.
How cute. I feel like I need that fix of coffee right now. I don't know what he was drinking, but that's a very strong cup of coffee.
I wish my coffee did that to me. Well, there we go. We are just, going to tackle just how to rein that boundless energy in when it comes to our human children. In fact, we have our counseling expert, Shanaz Moos, with us to help us with just that.
Well,
Well, step one, do not give them caffeine. If you're running out of parenting tools for your highly energetic child, well, this one might help you out a lot. Maybe you need some ideas to help calm your little Energizer bunny. Well, thankfully, we've got registered counsellor Shanaz Moas in the studio with us to share some tips on how struggling parents can better manage their highly energetic children. The animation, I wish we could tell this whole story through animation. Absolutely beautiful. Well done to the animation school. This has become one of my favourite features of the show. But it ain't no joke when you're dealing with a little bundle of energy, and I think there is this, maybe a line where you think that too much energy is your child being naughty or maybe pushing back, but some children just have that energy, and it can be a very difficult thing. For parents, is it a normal reaction to feel a little overwhelmed? Because often we don't have the boundless energy. We've worked a long day. We've been managing more than one child throughout the entire day. Is it natural to feel a little overcome when your child is full on?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who say their kids are hyperactive or very energetic just because of where their energy level is. So they're doing like a direct comparison, but I mean, it's not the amount of things you do in a day versus what your child does, you know, and also energy levels. I think just kids are more energetic. They're more positive and hyped up about life also, just generally. So I think that is what makes them seem super, like, stoked when they wake up. They're like, new day, yes.
Yes, embrace it. And you don't want to temper that. You want them to be enthusiastic and embrace their day, because they're going to burn a lot of energy when they go to school and when they play and when they do these activities. But I think it's important to draw a distinction between energy and maybe being a little hyperactive and conditions like ADHD. And I know we are very quick to diagnose ADHD these days, but how would you define the difference between hyperactivity and a condition like that?
And I think that I was chatting as we were doing makeup, and I was saying so many teachers are the first source who get upset when kids can't sit still, concentrate, pay attention. And the first thing they say to the parent, ADHD. The parent then goes to the doctor. So this is trail. And then but what is actually being failed to really implement is the extent to which the child cannot concentrate, sit still, the impact it has on learning. So a normally busy, energetic, hyperactive child, but who still performs well at school, can follow instructions, generally has sort of, I don't know what you'd call good behavior, but that is your
normal
behavior. That is just your hyperactive child. It's the ADHD that the child cannot control impulses. They really cannot pay attention. And you give them instructions and everything just falls into like one puddle. They don't know how to follow through. All these are the characteristics, yet people just see, can't sit still, can't pay attention sometimes. There we go. There's your ADHD, and it's a lot more, you know, there's a bigger, broader band of study that needs to be done on every child before you put that label.
There's a spectrum, there's a scale, and I think maybe then the responsibility, the onus falls on the parent to channel that energy. What tips and advice would you give to a parent who does have an energetic child to be able to channel that energy in the right way?
I mean, you've got little ones, so you know about channeling energy. So the one thing that's really gone down drastically is free play. So we structure our kids, even our toddlers' time, so rigidly as if they can see this plan for their day. They don't actually understand why they've got 10 structured activities. So free play is quite important. Outdoor play, and I mean, that's been struggling with COVID. So those are the things to burn off energy. Sport, any type of activity where the child has free movement. It's important to include that. And you find a lot of kids do structured sport that they are told to do, not that they choose to do. So you don't have that same enthusiasm to move if you have to do a sport that was given to you versus I want to do karate, I want to do a basketball that...
I want to dance. I just want to dance, man.
We all got a bit of dance in us, for sure.
No, for sure. Oh, we know you got a little dance in you, girl. Just go onto Instagram and have a look.
A lot.
I love that. Well, I'm going to treat you. You've earned yourself a little bit of delectable, decadent bliss double cream, and this is hazelnut dessert. Absolutely love it. We want you guys to think about your child right now. Put yourself in their shoes. If they are really energetic, if you're struggling to get them them to kind of focus. Maybe we've got some tips coming your way, but I think it's vital to give them that outlet. And I know we've lived through rather a crazy year in terms of children being really stuck in this construct where they haven't had the freedom to choose, and to just let it free. Maybe a great opportunity is just get them outdoors for you and for them. We're going to continue the chat right now.
Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We are continuing our parenting chat right now. Your child is literally bouncing off the walls, and you've run out of parenting tools to keep them still and on the ground. In fact, you're in a heap on the ground. Registered counsellor Chanel Most joins us to continue the conversation on how struggling parents can better manage their highly energetic children. I'm going to kind of address the elephant in the room. Maybe the issue is not with the energetic child, it's with the parent that lacks energy in this case. How often is this, like many of the issues we have with our children, relating to us as opposed to what's going on in our child's life?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the time it's also not a proper understanding that sometimes it's a temperament thing, and that you may have a different temperament to your child. You're more laid back and relaxed, and you have a high energy child who doesn't see a need for sitting still or
My child
keeping
is
quiet.
intense. He's just an intense
so this
little
clash,
guy.
It's like clash of the titans, clash of the temperaments, that once you educate yourself about that, you realize, okay, fine, this isn't my child being naughty, this is my child's temperament at play, which means I mustn't take it personal. So if I don't take it personal, I have better tools to use because I'm calm now. And that's the other part, staying calm. You know, you can't always meet your child's energy level. You'll pass out probably before, like, you get through the first half an hour. But do fun things together, like pillow fights or pillow stacks or things that are fun for both of you. So by the time that you now conked out, you've given the child a little bit of yourself, right? And also giving them a safe vent for all that energy. Because, I mean, building forts, I don't know if you remember, I remember doing that. All these things that people don't bother with anymore because screens have replaced all those kinds of activities.
I'm just picturing myself yesterday lying on the carpet in the lounge while my 4-year-old wrestles my one arm that was still working, and my 1-year-old beats me on the head with her plate that she's just eaten her grapes with. Being present, just being there for them, and it becomes one of your greatest joys when you actually just get to see the nuance of their personality in those moments, especially when it comes to free play. I love that, watching the imagination come to flight, but it's within that you still need limits and boundaries. And maybe if we look at that extreme side, when it's a little bit too much of a good thing, how do we set those limits and those boundaries with a child that is pushing back?
Yeah, but at least I think that if you know this is your high energy child, you're going to have realistic boundaries about how much time they need to do certain things and where they need to do certain things. So boundaries would be when can we have this free play? And if it's inside, for instance, choose an environment that's safe. So those are the kinds of boundaries that you would put in place to limit and cover the safety aspect. But still, it's not going to be a walk in the park. You are still going to struggle. And if you've got a child that's calmer, it just makes your high energy child just seem more hyped. And that comparison, whether it's conscious or unconscious, makes you always be agitated towards your.
And it's difficult. You don't want to kind of admit that you get frustrated with your kids like that, but it's natural.
So to have that sense of chat to the child about what's okay, what's not okay. The one thing they struggle with is also feelings. So sometimes when the feelings get hyped up, the energy goes up as well. So make sure you're checking in on what feelings. Let's talk about how you feel, or that upsets you. Just keeping a feelings dialogue open, because that's actually quite an important part, because kids get hyped up emotionally, then it becomes a physical thing, and then they actually
need the outlet.
If they do the releasing with talking about how they feel or drawing about how they feel, you'll find the energy level may come down to a manageable level for you, the parent.
Don't give them chocolate as well. Just
food.
Just
food
watch what you're
food
putting in their little bodies.
You got to watch out for what you give them to eat.
Let's red flag what you shouldn't do. What should you not be saying or doing to a child that's really energetic?
There's so many things people do without knowing it, especially when they speak to their kids. So often, sometimes somebody else can point out for you what it is that you're doing. Or should be doing. And the one thing is calling the child naughty.
Yeah.
Because they're so busy. That's the most common one. My child won't sit still. My child keeps talking over me. And this is the activity level. It's not like I'm choosing it. So it's not naughty. So don't use that word.
Don't make that a part of the identity.
And then the other word they use is busy. They think busy is a safer word. I don't know. It's somehow a negative word. But just having that understanding of your child will go a long way in terms of just you managing everything better.
Completely, and it is on you. Try and manage your own energy levels as well. Might help in this conversation, but I love what you say about talking and communicating. Set that, especially with younger children. You might think they're not taking it on board, but trust me, they are listening, and you want to create that open channel of communication so that when they do get a little bit older and those emotions become more complex, that they can talk to you, they can articulate. Otherwise just grab a cup of coffee and man up, man. You got to do this. Your kids will bring so much more joy than frustration to your life if you just open that conduit. But if you do have an energetic child, we hear you, man. We feel you.
Thank you, Graham. Well, as a grown-up, I need some energy, and there is nothing better than a nutritious smoothie to start the day. Add a bit of coffee, and you've got yourself a super strawberry and coffee smoothie that we're about to make. But I'm not making it alone. We have a very special guest in studio. It is the one and only Vicky Davis. Good morning. Oh, it's so nice to have you back. I mean, people know you from Pasella. People know you from their TV screens, watching you when you were in your acting. And, you've been doing such incredible things. So I thought I'm going to rope you in creating this delicious strawberry smoothie. So we are using our Nespresso Tokyo Vivalto Lungo. It is a flowery and fruity aromas, and it's also got a natural sweetness components to it. And this morning is perfect for the booster that we really want for our smoothie. So while I get our Lungo going, I'm going to ask you to add some of our sorbet into our mixture. Sure. You don't have to add all of it, maybe just about half of it. And what's great about this is we're using a mixed berry sorbet, but really at home you can use anything. If you prefer just strawberries or any sorbet, that will work. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to get our Lungo going.
How's that? Fine.
That's perfect.
Cool.
And then naturally we are making a strawberry smoothie, so you can add some fresh strawberries.
Okay, cool.
And then you can add all of it, yeah.
Oh, why not?
Do your kids love fruits, especially berries?
Yes. Kids, they're not so, well, at the age where they're at, they're not so big on the greens, unfortunately.
Okay.
So strawberries, they're a big hit.
It makes a difference. Now, I'm someone that loves a little bit of sugar in my coffee, a little bit in my smoothie, just to balance it out. So we've got some sugar there that you can add. And then naturally, you will make a Lungo at home. Let it cool down before you add it to your smoothie. So right here, we've got a cooled down Lungo coffee.
Okay,
you can add that for us. And this is how quick and easy it is to make this little breakfast smoothie.
Nice.
Are you an early morning person?
So I think in our industry you learn to become one, but naturally, definitely not.
On any given day, because I know kids go through a phase where they wake up super duper early, and then as they get older, they like to sleep in.
Yes.
What time do your kiddies wake up?
Oh, early.
So this little smoothie will then be perfect.
Definitely.
It's
I need this in my life.
Yeah. And you know what? I've never tried this combination before, strawberries and coffee in a smoothie blend. And what's amazing is the Tokyo capsule that we used, it is a 100% Arabica blend with high quality African beans, and also the Lungo coffee size that we used, it's only 110 milliliters. So I'm going to ask you to pretty please
Pour that
pour
into the
for us.
glasses.
Yes.
Sure.
And what is amazing about this capsule is it's got a mild bitterness to it. It also has a taste profile that's got a mild body, mild roastiness, and there's low acidity.
So it's not too sweet, which is nice.
Not too sweet, there we go, but it gives us the kick that we want because it's got a strength indicator of a number 6. Okay, we've got our
Ooh,
straws.
nice straws.
Now you have to be honest when you taste this because I've never made a strawberry coffee
Well,
combo. Cheers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you here. Oh, it's good. Oh, this is
such a
good.
nice combo.
I never knew berries and coffee would go well together. And of course, if you wanted to be a little bit more slushy, make sure your coffee is super cooled down, add a bit of ice, and that is
With
really
ice
great
would be
one.
really good, yeah.
Well, there you go. If you want to get your hands on this delicious recipe, you can visit our website. That's expressoshow.com. And don't worry, Vicky's not going anywhere. She's going to be hanging out with us throughout the morning. There we go.
Nice.
Now we can get our morning started.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We promised inspiration, and it's on the way. When Trudy Basson, a doctor in social work, wanted to address the needs of young girls who were living on the streets of Gqeberha, she established the Marantha Siakatala Child and Youth Care Centre.
Now, this has been running since 2002. The centre now takes care of 34 children and young people, being both girls and boys, and has set a sights on helping even more vulnerable people in needy communities.
Every child deserves a warm meal every day, a roof over their head, and education, the joy of being a child and being carefree. But unfortunately, the reality is that there are many children in South Africa who find themselves on the streets and unable to enjoy all of those rights. But there are people out there with big hearts. I'm talking about people like the people we're about to meet here at the Maranatha Siakatala Child and Youth Care Center, who are doing such incredible work in that space. Let's hear their story. You know, the story is incredible. Back in 2002, the Maranatha Siakatala Center was the first to take in girls from the streets, and it's grown so much since then. How did you expand to this and be able to reach so many people now?
Well, in 2002, we started off with a drop-in, meaning the children come in the daytime and they leave after 4 or 5 hours again. So these girls, small of age, they came in, some of them under the influence of alcohol, some on street for 5 years, not receiving any education. So with that observation, we put a very small article in the newspaper, and I mentioned that we would like to take these girls off the street. Then a business saw this small article and they actually came forward and said, but we want to be in partnership with you. And we took the girls off the street. We did home teaching for 1 year, and the one thing led to the other.
I absolutely love everything about this space. The children, I mean, they're having such a good time.
They do. They love the toys, they love the free play, and they love the animals around them. So you can see we've got house 2 on my left. That's for the boys. That's under the age of 15. And then next to house 2, we've got house 3. That's more for the girls. And house 4 at the back, that is more for the independent living girls. We have 12 boys, 12 girls, and then 4 independent girls, and we've got about 9 in house 1.
Wow, it's a community.
Yes, that's a small community.
Love it.
It's true.
Well, as program manager, of course, we had to make a lot of adaptations. A lot of our activities became virtual, singing lessons online, hip-hop dance classes online, and of course, e-learning and schooling for our children to continue with their education. But they did very well. One of our young people achieved excellently in his matric. He started his first year Bachelor of Law at UNISA this year, so we're very proud of the resiliency that our children showed during lockdown.
Oh, but Harrison, you downplay it because you've had more great news. I mean, your girls, 3 of them, became the first South Africans to be a part of the #GirlsRise program running virtually. Tell me more about that.
What an amazing program. We're so proud of them. Basically, my father in the UK put me in touch with the Digi Learning Foundation, and they're all about upskilling young people with real-life, in-demand career skills. So the GirlRise program is run in conjunction with the Financial Times, Takumi, they're a social media marketing influencer agency, and our girls are literally empowered to be young business leaders. So we're so proud that they're the first South Africans to be able to take part in this, representing Maranatha Siakatala and the whole country, and I think they're excellent candidates to take part in this opportunity.
So you ladies are a part of this life-changing program. Semantinho, what are you learning from the program and your tutors?
Well, my dream is to become an executive chef. So what I'm learning from my mentor is that she's helping me to achieve my goals and to use my life story to impress others and to help them also in my community
Well, Mandisa, you are also on a mission because you're also in this exciting program. What are you learning?
Well, what I aspire to do is the fact that I want to become a teacher, because my dream has always been about becoming a teacher, because I have passion for children and I also love acting. I'm very dramatic. So I want to open up my own community project where I help youngsters with homework. And also what I love about the program is the fact that they're helping you to become what you want to become. They're helping you with the skills to open up your own business one day. So I've learned a lot from that, and that makes me so excited.
Lady Samantha, what are some of the things that you're learning so far, and what are your aspirations?
To open my own hairdressing in my community, and I want others to learn a lot from me.
The work that you do here is so extensive. I mean, I've seen quail breeding, and this garden that we're walking through, it's also impressive. Not just life skills, but you're also providing vocational training and opportunities. Tell me about that.
The training is really to help the young people to become independent once they leave the center. We believe you've got to equip yourself, and the animals and plants, they serve as a form of therapy too. So it's not just giving skills, but also to help them with their personal issues.
But Harrison, the need to take in younger children is ever increasing in South Africa, with a specific focus on early childhood development. How are you intervening in that space?
Yes, absolutely. Recently, we've extended our age range. Now we take from 2 till 22, so we're very busy with each and every young person. And of course, early childhood development is key. And we also try and keep sibling groups together. So if there are older siblings and younger siblings, we don't want to separate them, because that family unit is so important. So we are doing early intervention, a lot of stimulation and developmental work, along with our child and youth care workers here. So we're even in the process of setting up our own creche on the premises, preschool, so to speak, Maranatha preschool, so watch this space.
When it comes to the type of work that you do, there's a real need in rural communities. It's been identified, and I know that you've already started doing so much work in that space, but what is your goal in making sure that you expand your reach in rural communities specifically, Doctor?
Yeah, that's another field. We actually reaching out to New Bethesda, and it's to keep the youth occupied there, the children, because honestly they don't have anything available. So we do holiday clubs there. We assist with toddler and mom groups, and we're also helping them. We actually established a toy library there. It's very important that they learn to love reading, and that we do it with toys. We also established a mobile library. So we've got 4 small libraries, but because of the COVID, we had to stop that. And our big dream is to really build a hall so that they can have a venue for their weekend recreational activities.
Dr. Basan, Harrison Nash, Maranatha Siakatala, thank you. Thank you so much for serving so selflessly. The work that you do with so much love, and what you really are doing is giving these children and these young people and families a fighting chance. You are taking their stories that could go south and really giving them the opportunity to realize their potential and shine. And you do it with so much love. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, look at them. Hitting all the fields this morning.
Brilliant.
What absolutely incredible work done by such dedicated people. Taking care of our kids, let me tell you, is no easy feat, and making sure they are set up for life requires good, sound advice in every aspect of their lives.
I love seeing people just living selflessly like that. They devote their life to a cause, and it is absolutely amazing to see that playing out, especially in a community that desperately needs just that one little kind of foot up, that helping hand. So beautiful stuff. Right now we are going to focus on our younger selves, and we're going to pose some interesting questions. I think it's easy to live with no regrets, and I think for the most part have no regrets. No, I've let go of a lot of my baggage. But when it comes to, I think, learning from our past and sharing that wisdom with people around us, especially the youth, then it is great to look back and reflect. And today we are going to invite all of you to have another open and very honest conversation about money in Dear Younger Me. What would I say to my younger self? I think I get this question a lot, and you probably will as well. Any magazine interview, what advice would you give your younger self? And online, a lot of people looking for that mentor kind of space would ask that exact question. What advice would you give your younger self? But we want to kick off the conversation with our team first, and maybe I can put it to you, Jamie. What would you say? What would you wish you had said to a 16-year-old version of
With
yourself?
regards to money or just in general?
With money.
Ooh, save. Hey, save. Just try and save and think about the rainy days, but also invest. To be honest, I grew up not having money, so there wasn't really money to save.
There wasn't a consciousness around it, yeah.
There wasn't a consciousness around it. I think now, being in the position that I am and, earning a little bit more money, I would go back and tell myself, even that rand that you made or that 10 rand that you made, save that. But I couldn't. But now, being in the position, just try and save as much as you possibly can. Save something, 10 cents of anything. Don't buy that expensive pair of shoes.
You are really good at managing your money now. I get this about you. You're just quite kind of structured about your life now.
I've had to be, because my family, we grew up, life was good, and then my dad started his own business, and then life wasn't good. So I just vowed, I was 16, and I said to myself, I never ever want to feel that feeling again. So I've been forced to always just be careful with my expenses. So the one thing I'll say to my younger self is, you don't need the latest phone every time there's an upgrade, because it's just a waste of money. There's nothing wrong with the current phone you have.
You're so young. Phones didn't exist
until
now.
it breaks. Well, I'm saying it more for the young ones right now. But you know what? I envied my friends that were able to work and live at home. But I was like, that was the perfect opportunity for you to save. But I had to pay rent because my parents live in Durban and I live in Cape Town. I wish I lived closer to them, where that would have given me an opportunity to save, so that when I buy my first property, I had a decent deposit.
Well, you've mentioned property. If I had to ask you to finish this sentence or fill in the blank, I wish I could have started saving for what when I was younger? What is that thing that you wish?
Property.
Really?
100% property. Especially now, having Luca wanting a space where he can play around, have a little garden, have his own room. I think that is one thing that I've always wish I saved for.
Yeah, I just watched. My sister's been brilliant at managing her money in that sense, and also, like me, started working really young. And she did. She saved up, bought her first property when she was young, and she was able to use that investment over the last year to transform her life. And it was such a fundamental thing. So we've obviously put this question to you guys at home, and let's see what you have been saying about addressing this particular issue with your younger self. And I think we've got Rafiwe first.
Yes, she says, I wish I could have started saving for my baking and cooking business when I was younger. I've always loved cooking and baking from a very young age. I always dreamt of having my own business in that industry. So that is sweet.
Natalie says, I wish I could have started for a house. Very, very interesting. Aisha also says a car. So there we go.
Jacqueline Minis also said for a better lifetime. I think just overall quality of life, for a better, just for everything.
When I think about it, as a young guy, the car, I used to dream about getting that first car. I always used to dream about a little red car. Like, it was always my thing.
Did it have to be red?
Yeah, for some reason, it was a little red Postman Pat looking car. We got some more comments coming through.
Okay, so Chetty says, I wish I could have started saving for my home when I was younger. And then also examples, Fury says, building my late mama a house for a queen.
And then Zania Trump also says, a house and to travel. Yes, so beautiful to be able to, go out there, go into the world and to have a house. We didn't get to ask you. What?
Car. I wish
car.
I really wanted a car, man. I think the property thing is a big thing, but it was more the principle of money management at the time, and the idea of kind of that incremented growth and being able to save so that when you face a pressured time, like we have, for instance, over the last year where everything is taken away from us, how you can address that. So I'm going to put this to you guys right now because we've discovered an amazing platform that has linked with the most incredible mentors. If you're a young student now especially and you're starting to think a bit more seriously about money, then I really encourage you to go and visit the YouthX platform by Nedbank. This is an amazing space where you can have great access to advice from industry leaders, from amazing mentors. You can have resources that will help you navigate your career, especially maybe inspire you, and beyond that, get into your life. So go and check out www.unlocked.me, #potential. It's time for us all to take money a little bit more seriously.
Indulge your desires. Be swept away by the fragrance of dissent. Take the plunge into impulsive spending until you find yourself deeper and deeper, drowning in debt. In this world of temptation, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Back, everybody. This is your feel-good breakfast show on S3. 1 + 1 = 3. Because Vicky Davis is here from Pasela, and she's going to be hanging out with us for the rest of the morning. So it's going to be a feel-good Wednesday, indeed.
It is, and we love you, man. You're part of the family, so we've obviously known each other for a long time. We've walked this kind of parallel path, so can't wait to catch up, see how you're doing. But is there something you want to say to the viewers?
Yes. So what am I supposed to say? 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's going to be news with Zoe. I almost want to say, vandaag op Pasela. No, it is Expresso. You are watching Expresso. Don't be confused.
With a little bit of Pasela.
Oh, I'm looking here. So confusing.
Oh, thank you, Vicky and team. It's time for us to take a look at your 7 o'clock headlines. Starting with national news, Eskom announced last night that stage 2 load shedding is set to continue until 10 p.m. on Friday. The power utility earlier said stage 2 would be implemented from 4 p.m. yesterday until 5 a.m. this morning. However, due to further breakdowns of generating units at Majuba and Arnott power stations, as well as delays in returning units to service at Arnott and Tutuka power stations, stage 2 load shedding will now be implemented from 10 a.m. this morning until 10 p.m. on Friday. And more than 1 million people have now been vaccinated against COVID-19 in SA. Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize said of these, 479,768 had been vaccinated under the Sisonke protocol and 565,336 under phase 2 of the rollout program. He also announced that there were 3,640 new cases of COVID-19 recorded in the past 24 hours and 95 new new COVID-19 related deaths. 44 in Gauteng, 27 in the Free State, 9 in the Western Cape, 7 in the Northern Cape, 5 in KwaZulu-Natal, and 3 in the Eastern Cape. Moving to news abroad, more vaccination news is that Sinovac has become the second Chinese vaccine to receive the nod from the WHO after Sinopharm. This opens the door for the jab to be used in the COVAX program, which aims to ensure fair access to vaccines. The vaccine, which has already been used in several countries, has been recommended for over 18s, with a second dose 2 to 4 weeks later. Sinovac prevented symptomatic disease in more than half of those vaccinated and prevented severe symptoms and hospitalization in 100% of those studied. And staying with news abroad, environmental campaigners have warned that exports of fish meal and fish oil from West Africa are depriving more than 30 million people a year of food. A report by Greenpeace Africa and the Netherlands-based organization Changing Markets urges governments to phase out processing of fish which is fit for human consumption, presently being used for fish meal and oil. The report says the industry is devastating coastal communities and undermining food security in Mauritania, Senegal, the Gambia, and Mali, as well as Burkina Faso. And now some news of great wildlife census. Similar to the rest of the world, Kenya's lucrative tourism industry has also been hit hard by the coronavirus pandemic, but hopes are high that things will be back in full swing by the year 2024. In the meantime, Kenya's Wildlife Services, the KWS, is conducting a great wildlife census, counting every single animal and marine life in all 58 national parks across the country for the first time ever. Using GPS trackers, aircraft, camera traps, and significant manpower, including dogged conservationists, KWS will count everything. They'll focus on rare species, including the pangolin, often illegally traded, the Sitatunga antelope, aardvarks, and hedgehogs, none of which have ever been counted before. With every rhino recorded, giraffe documented, and elephant accounted for, experts will be able to better protect the more than 1,000 species native to Kenya and know better what challenges they're facing. Ultimately, when tourism again picks up, Kenyan officials hope the country's animal population and the local people that rely on the country's natural beauty for a living will be thriving once more. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's another look at your sport.
Fear gets overwhelmed. Fearless overcomes. With all women dread disease cover from First for Women.
Thanks so much, Zoe. Tennis dominating this morning. Kevin Anderson sadly making an early exit from the French Open. That was after losing to South Korea's Kwon Soon Woo last night. Big serving South African losing 5-7, 4-6, 6-2, 6-7 to the 96th ranked player in the world. Fellow South African Lloyd Harris faring a little better. He eased past Italian Lorenzo Sonego in straight sets, 7-5, 6-4, 6-4. That was in 2 hours and 19 minutes. So Harris, who is South Africa's top-ranked tennis player at the moment, will now face Brit Cameron Norrie in round 2 tomorrow. Then the King of Clay got off to a great start. Rafa Nadal starting his bid for a 14th French Open title after seeing off Australian Alexei Popyrin in the first round yesterday. The 34-year-old Spaniard, who is seeded third for this Grand Slam, fought back from being 2-5 down in that third set to beat Popyrin 6-2, 6-3, 7-6. Nadal will now be up against French tennis player Richard Gasquet in Roland Garros second round. That's later today. And then in the women's draw, world number 1 Ashley Barty advanced to round 2 after beating American Bernarda Pereira 6-4, 3-6, 6-2. Then great news from a South African perspective as MotoGP rider Brad Binder is now remaining with KTM until 2024. The team announced this yesterday. The 25-year-old won his first Premier Class race and secured KTM's first MotoGP victory at Brno last year. Binder signing now a 3-year contract extension with the Austrian factory. This means he'll be at the team for 10 years after coming up through the ranks from Moto3. MotoGP returns to action in Spain this weekend for the Catalan Grand Prix. Binder is currently 8th in the overall standings. And then finally, on to cricket. England will play host to New Zealand at Lord's Cricket Ground in the first of 2 tests starting later today. But the hosts will be without several key players, including Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer, who are both out with injury. And then Joss Butler, Johnny Bairstow, Sam Curran and Chris Wokes are being rested. Kane Williamson will lead the Black Caps in front of roughly 7,000 people at the famous Lord's Ground as Joe Root captains the home side. And day 1 of that first test will kickstart at 12 p.m. South African time today. Well, that's where we leave our sport for now. Let's see how the skies are looking around your part of South Africa.
Thank you so much, G-Man, for that sports update. Time to have another look at your beautiful sunrise pictures. But of course, we have to say thank you to all of you, our lovely viewers, that took the time to share your sunrise views with us. Now, we kick off your 7 a.m. update with one of our top fans, Josephine Pickstone, who took this photo from Oudtshoorn in Cape Town, showing the sun breaking through the clouds in the distance. Another one coming through from Rosemary Derube, who shared this silhouetted image showing off a pink and purple skyline. Absolutely stunning. Of course, we encourage you to please continue to share your sunrise photos with us on the Expresso Facebook page. We absolutely love seeing how you start the day. And while we do enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the USA. And this morning, we're reporting on the weather from Rome. Now, Rome is the capital city of Rome and has been a major human settlement for almost 3 millennia. As such, the city boasts numerous historical sites attracting tourists from all over the world, when travel was, of course, allowed. And Rome has a Mediterranean climate with hot, dry summers and mild, humid winters. Temperatures can range from as low as 3 degrees Celsius to as high as 40 degrees Celsius in the summer. However, today, any viewers tuning in from Rome can expect a pleasant day ahead with partial sunshine and a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. And then next, the aftermath is looking extremely bleak since Mount Nyiragongo in the Democratic Republic of Congo erupted 10 days ago. More than 500,000 people in the east of the country have lost their supply of drinking water. Now, Doctors Without Borders said because cholera was endemic and posed a huge threat, there was an urgent need to provide people in the city of Goma with safe drinking water. A reservoir and pipes were damaged when one of the world's most active volcanoes, Mount Nyiragongo, erupted. Since then, there have been many tremors and hundreds of thousands of people are still unable to return to their homes and are in need of humanitarian assistance. And our thoughts and prayers are with them. Right now, here is a second look at the temperatures for today. For you, Polokwane, do expect a low of 5 today, and it will peak at 18 degrees. If you do find yourself in Umbombela, expect a range of 10 to 23. Pretoria, for you, partly cloudy conditions ranging from 6 to 17. Johannesburg coming through with a low of 4 and a high of 14 today. Mahikeng, for you, it is a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 18. And then Klerksdorp, for you, it is 116. Kimberley ranges from 5 to 18, and then Bloemfontein 418 as well. Richards Bay, do expect a minimum of 13 and a maximum of 21. And Pietermaritzburg, rain is coming your way with a 71% chance, ranging from 11 to 15. Durban, a 93% chance of day, so you do want to cover up, maybe make some soup, with a low of 16 and a high of 20. And then for you, Mthatha, rain is also coming your way, ranging from 9 to 13. East London, ranging from 14 to 18. Cradock, partly cloudy conditions can be expected with a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 16. Gqeberha, for you, it is 13, 19. George coming through with a low of 12 and a high of 17. And then the Mother City, Cape Town, ranges from 13 to 19 today. Worcester, 7-19. Sutherland, 2-14. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 7 to 20. Whatever you do on this Wednesday, make sure to make it a feel-good kind of day.
So this thing keeps happening where they keep drifting into deep Afrikaans. Like, And they both give me this look of like, okay, he actually doesn't understand what we're saying, and then they switch back to
How did you not keep up with us?
Unless you were doing that on purpose. And then you put your hair there, and then I'm like, I can't read your lips. I don't understand. I don't understand. But as you can see, I'm very enthusiastic to reconnect with Vicky Davis. We're going to have a lot of fun catching up on her amazing life.
Kan jy dit vir ons in Afrikaans doen?
Ons gaan 'n klein breekie hê.
Klein breek.
'n Klein breek op jou goedvoel ontbytsprogram.
Dis so cute.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welkom terug by jou goedvoel ontbytsprogram Expresso. Ons sit met ons gunstelinge spele op TV.
Sy is baie talentvol. Jy ken
Thanks for
haar
taking over.
resepies. Ja, sy is 'n bekende gesig hier in Suid-Afrika, die the one and only Vicky Davis.
Yay! Vicky. Exactly.
Jy sien julle laat my baie goed klink hoor. Baie dankie.
Ja, dis 'n plesier. It's easy to run out of superlatives though when describing you because you don't sit in one lane.
No.
And I'm desperate to know because I kind of have a similar, we've kind of walked a path together in the industry. For many years, we've kind of seen each other doing what we're doing, but you in Afrikaans and me in English. You're in front of camera, you're behind camera, you're a presenter, you're connecting with camera, you're an actor disconnecting from camera, connecting with other players.
Yes.
What is it about this kind of multifaceted career that drives you? Why not just be a presenter, which you could do because you're that good?
Yeah, Graham, that's a very difficult question, and it's something I often have a bit of a struggle with, I think, because, you know, it's that thing of, should I just not focus on and have one idea in my career, or why am I sort of why do I go sort of as a multifaceted person? But I think it's about diversifying is something that comes naturally, and sure, I think it's about being resilient in the South African industry.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
And I think it's just something that fits with your personality and what your interests are. And I've never been someone that, you know, I think as I started out acting, and it's been an interest, but I always wanted to know more. And then I wanted to know how it works behind the scenes. Then I wanted to know what's it like being a director, what's it like being a producer. And I've always wanted to hone more skills than just that one thing, and sometimes to my own detriment, because then, you know, people think, oh, you know, you do all these different things, so what do you do? But it's just who I am, and I think that's the same with you, you know.
Basically, you were an actor who wanted to get paid, so you had to start presenting. Which do you enjoy the most?
I think it's also that complexity between being an introvert and an extrovert in a way. So I've kind of figured it out now where I need the balance. So I have to have my sort of in front of camera fix. And for me, I think the thing that I love the most is TV presenting. So I think I always want to continue doing some kind of form of presenting, or, you know, interviewing people and
There's a high you get from being in front of the camera.
You
and
connect
that
with people,
kind of connection. But I also also need to do my more creative sort of producing, where I'm a little bit more in control of the concept and what's happening. So I need to find that balance, but the one can't do without the other.
And you're doing it well. And I mean, we are seeing it with especially the new season of Pasala being on air every Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2. Now, Vicky, let's talk about the tribute season, which is going to be quite special. I mean, it's going to take a look at all the different faces that's been part of...
It's quite emotional. Yeah. So just to be clear, the tribute season, that's coming next year. So at the moment, the season that the viewers are seeing is still old school Pasala. That's the last of Pasala as we know it. And then next year, it's this fabulous tribute season where we're paying homage to the last 22 years. And everyone that's been involved in front and behind the scenes. We're literally starting from the first presenters all the way through to
Pasela has such an identity, and it's created its own niche, if you will, for the uninitiated, for that like one person, or maybe for the English guy like me, that maybe hasn't been able to get the full value. What is Pasela? How would you describe the show?
I've thought about this a lot, and I would describe it as a program for everyone, because it's integrated and it's accessible. It tells, for me, it's telling the story, South Africa's story and South Africa's people's stories, but not only, the celebrities and the most glamorous places, but also the everyday stories. We travel to, the little stofdorpies, and so it's the guests are the entrepreneurs, it's the business people, it's the everyday people doing really interesting and creative stuff. It's celebrating your everyday local South African heroes as well. So it's really putting everyone on exactly the same platform. I always say it's a gelijkmaker, and that's why it's so nice to see, because you've got your high-flying celeb in the same program, cooking in a kitchen with a tannie making a milk tart, and it's just showing our stories, and it's connecting people.
And aren't those kind of, and you might find this as well, those people, the unsung heroes, the people that no one else knows, don't they leave more of a mark often?
They do. That's the thing. And I think my own, looking back, I've also had to think, what mark has this made on my life? Personally, I've been there for 13 years on and off. Sure. And it's really left me extremely humble and touched by South Africans. And also, it's not been exclusive. It's Afrikaans, but it's we've got subtitles, and sometimes it's people who are not even Afrikaans speaking who come to me and say, wow, this program is so amazing, because it's about learning about each other's cultures and stories and places that you won't necessarily visit. But for me, it's just been, I've been so touched and humbled by how South Africans are just really trying very hard to make South Africa a better place, and their little micro worlds, all these little pockets in South Africa where, it's just they're really being creative, and not just the artists, but the people in the little towns trying to make their communities better and trying to, make amazing community projects, helping each other. And I've just gained so much respect for South Africans in general. Yeah, no, really.
Out of the limited resources they sometimes have.
I know. These boervrouwens, like, starting like factories and like art projects and things where you think there's nothing happening, and that's where I'm like, wow, the South Africans are amazing, and it's 22 years of nation building. I think this program has kind of...
It's part of our DNA. I've just been looking over your shoulder at the visuals of all these things. You just get to do really cool stuff. Okay, that's just the bottom line. Yeah.
There was that. There was like nice food and cool experiences.
Good food, good people, good things.
Which is an amazing opportunity,
but so good to connect with you and see you just happy, which is great. I think that's the most important thing, because we're all kind of driving towards the same end goal here, and that's to create good TV for you guys at home. And Vicky does it so well. We're going to ask her to stick around. You should too.
What a legend to be able to hang out with Vicky Davis this morning. But another legend here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, JP Sebastian. He's here with all the latest movie trailers for us. And just a bit of a heads up, it is all horrors, believe it or not. I don't know why they would do this to me, and also why I'm wearing white today while you guys are doing it.
Yeah, clearly the maiden in distress look is what we're going for here. No, I really think that probably screenwriters need to be let out of lockdown. They're clearly losing their minds because every trailer that came out recently that is most enticing, it's all horror movies. Don't worry, if you got kids watching, I chopped out all the stuff that is potentially too choppy. So, yeah, except for the creepy bunny there with the human eye in the poster.
Yeah, that already for me is like, I'm done. I can't.
Like, I mean, some horrors actually have, like, when the toy is introduced and you're just like, okay, please get on with it. That's cheesy. But this thing actually looks pretty good. So, caveat.
Caveat. I was like, cave at? Caveat? What is it? No. Caveat.
A life of living in hashtags. Caveat is it's T's and C's in a contract, for example. Caveat is a proviso. Oh, by the way, if you're going to do X for me, I'll also need B, C, and D kind of thing. So the caveats involved in this guy's deal that he's making there with his old landlord is, well, firstly, the deal is, hey, guy, I know that you're down on your luck. I know that you're just sort of wandering around through life, and you need some money. So how about $200 a day? You look after my troubled niece. Now, don't worry. Her only issue is that she falls into catatonia once in a while.
Hells to the nerve. No.
But that's just a polite welcome.
I do not do
What
that.
if that's her culture? That's a disrespectful shame. So she's got issues, clearly.
Clearly.
And the guy, for whatever reason, is so ridiculous. I'm sorry. He has to chain himself to the basement because she's afraid of men, which, yeah, I get. But he has to wear like a baby harness, and he's only allowed to travel in a certain diameter of a house that's trapped on an island and abandoned, where her father killed herself. So all these, in fact, caveats to the caveat and layers to the layers, which are kind of ridiculous, but horror's meant to be. Main thing is that it looks good. Reminds me a lot of the filmic style of, oh man, some of these shots.
I'm not looking. I'm not even going to turn my face to the screen right now.
Remind me a lot of The Witch. So that's a good horror to take your lead from 2015, Anya Taylor-Joy, whatever. We'll talk about her a bit later, actually. Anyway, no date for this in SA just yet. But man, shame. Sometimes I love these really like small, pokey horrors that budget-wise don't have a chance, box office-wise don't have a chance, because sometimes they're the most cult-like, the most memorable. And speaking of cult-like,
I actually want to see this. Believe it or not. Like false positive.
What do you know?
I've seen a little trailer. There was just like, you know, the whole pregnancy scenario thing, and then she's looking for her fertility doctor.
I can
think
imagine
the storyline.
Already, like, so having, you know, been through that yourself, like there's...
Been through what? Looking for my fertility doctor.
The ordeal of carrying another life, like the paranoia that must go with that already. So plays into that. Again, we're dealing with another horror. Sorry, I just referred to your child as that. Oh, don't worry, it's just a
Can I look at it?
creepy little blue-eyed girl. Nothing can go wrong there, surely. So, false positive. Her and her husband, Justin Theroux, who has his own history of acting in creepy horrors, started out, I remember when I was younger, in Mulholland Drive. Loves these weird things, so usually if it's casting Justin Theroux, that's a good start. Pierce Brosnan, who obviously people remember as James Bond, maybe one of the junkier of the Bonds. Shame, he's a handsome dude and he's dashing and suave, so he's the perfect foil for the evil that might be lying under the surface. This mother is suspecting that something's been done to her during the process of trying to get her pregnant. Pierce Brosnan is the obstetrician. He says, no, everything's going fine, trust my methods, but he clearly has his own sinister streak. She starts hallucinating. Is this a thing they refer to in this trailer as, oh no, don't worry, that's just mommy brain, one of the women refers to?
Yeah, mommy brain means like you're a bit of a scramble, you forget everything, you're just all over the place. It's like at that end of pregnancy term, so that's usually what people, I never recovered from mommy brain, I still have mommy brain.
I mean, is this even happening right now?
It's happening right now.
Oh, psychedelic, trippy. So she starts actually feeling like she's been gaslit even by her friends who are like, no, don't worry, it's just you, it's just in your head. Her husband possibly too, so there might be this cult surrounding her, similar to a lot of the old 70s stuff, including like Rosemary's Baby, where what's inside might not be hers, it might be the Dark Princess. Ooh, even the husband's named Adrian, like the baby in Rosemary's Baby. Anyway. So like all that kind of spooky demon type stuff. Ilana Glazer, Broad City, usually a comedian, and clearly doing something very special here.
And that's what I wanted to say. We're seeing a lot of comedians take on roles of horror. How do you feel about that? Because
peel, for example.
But it's difficult for me to separate the two because when I see you as like a comedian and then now seeing you in a horror, it's like, I
maybe
don't
straightening
get
her hair is a good start. People don't recognize her for squat there. But like the thing is, I think, you know, if you're given a role that's going to break that on your behalf, that's 50% of the job already. So like Steve Carell, when he did Foxcatcher, mind, you know, crazy stuff. So look, comedians, they definitely have this weird overlap between horror and comedy, even in ourselves, the trauma within, you know, the trivial. So anyway, that's the two that I wanted to talk about this morning. Actually, we'll get into a bit more horror a bit later. You look like you're having a tough enough time as it is.
No, I'm good. I think the second one really likes it out. But anyway, JP Sebastian is not going anywhere. He's still going to be with us on your Feel Good Breakfast Show for more movie trailers, so stick around for that.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, well, things will certainly be unresistible on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Welcome back. And you're just in time because if you're looking for a restaurant quality waffles that you can make and have at home, look no further than our Clover Bliss yogurt waffles with stewed fruit. These will definitely brighten up any morning and your whole family will love it. We welcome for the very first time private chef Tabitha in the studio with us. Welcome to Expresso.
Morning, how are you?
Good. This is your first time, right?
Yes, this is my first time.
And how does it feel being on the show?
It's so exciting. Can't wait to create some yummy waffles with you this morning.
Oh, well, listen, I'm looking forward to seeing your cooking skills. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a 25-year-old private chef. I'm from Johannesburg, and I've been a private chef for some time now, for about over 2 years. Yes, and I'm good at any cuisine. Just depends on what I'm feeling and what I'm in the mood for, or what the client is in the mood for, then we're good to go.
Then we're good to go. Well, we are in the mood for some delicious waffles with some stewed fruit. So let's start off with, what would we start off with?
Okay, so you're gonna need your flour and your dry ingredients. You're gonna mix in your sugar. So this is sugar. You're gonna need some salt.
There we go.
Okay, just gonna pour this over here. Then you're gonna need some baking powder.
There we go.
So these are your dry ingredients. So you're gonna need to mix them up together first, so that you have everything in there. Then you're gonna make a well in the middle. So those are your eggs. About 2 eggs, but just depending on how many people you're serving. Then some melted butter.
Oof. That is the good stuff.
Yes. And then the star of the show, our Clover Bliss double cream yogurt.
There we go. And what flavor are we using here? The strawberries?
Okay. Yes, we're using
cream.
the strawberries. This is my favorite. So we're just gonna add 2.
I love that you can add yogurt to this recipe.
Yes,
I
right.
love that we get to, use the ingredients that we have in our kitchen. And what's great about the Clover Bliss double yogurt is that you get to also have it as a bit of a snack. It comes in different sizes.
Yes.
So if you are feeling peckish, this is great to have in your fridge all times for a snack or even to add into your recipes. So there we go.
So I'm gonna add a little bit more.
Go for it. So where did your love for cooking come from?
Honestly, I grew up with my grandmother.
Okay.
So she was actually good in the kitchen, and my aunties. So it's been like a family thing. So I grew to love it from there. And then I decided, why not do something that you love? Wake up, do it every day.
Turn it
Then
into
I
a
was
career.
Yes.
Can I mix that for you? I'm happy to be your little assistant because I know we're
you.
also going to be making some stewed fruit,
Yes.
right? Okay.
So we're gonna have our toaster here.
There we go.
Nice and hot. And then here, those are the fruits that we're gonna use. We have some strawberries, guava, and some pears. So you can basically just use any seasonal fruit. You can use berries, you can use oranges, just any fruit that's in season. So you're gonna have like a pot here, nice and warm. Then you're gonna start adding your fruits.
There we go. And we do have this recipe available for you if you would love to get your hands on our delicious Clover Bliss yogurt waffles. You can find it on expressoshow.com. So Chef Tabitha, I've got our waffle mix in. I'm going to close our waffle machine and get those going. There we go.
Perfect. So I've already added my fruits in here. Then we're gonna add some cinnamon. So like I said, you can use any fruits that you prefer. It does not really have to be
the ones that we have.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Then we're gonna put in just a little bit of honey. I'm gonna reserve some to drizzle on top. Okay. And then I'm gonna need some water.
A little bit of water. I can grab some for you.
Thank you.
There we go.
And then you have to just cook it down for like 10 minutes. You don't have to overdo it.
There we go.
Yes, because you want them to be stewy, soft.
You still want to be able to bite into it. You don't want it mushy,
Yes, you don't
right?
want it mushy. So you still need a bit of crunchiness into it.
And you said about 10 minutes?
About 10 minutes or so, but depending on how well you want to have your fruit done. So we're going to leave this in here and we're going to let it work its magic.
And then we've got our finished products. See, this is the beauty of cooking on TV. We have finished products and ready to like tuck in and enjoy, but look how beautiful that looks.
So this is what you'll have.
Oh, thank you. Well, Chef Tabitha, I love what you created here. And this recipe is available. You can find it on our website, expressoshow.com. And if I feel like, is it okay if I just like bite into it?
Definitely. I also can't wait.
Grab some breakfast because it does smell amazing. I love that we have the stewed fruit here. I am going to cut into our waffles. And just quickly, how often do you make waffles for yourself?
I'll say maybe every Sundays.
Okay.
Definitely every Sundays. And then just when I have time, but with this mixture, you can just freeze it, keep it in the freezer, and then you can make them at
There we go. Well, there you have it. If you're keen on some delicious waffles, get the recipe on expressoshow.com. And if you've missed any of the steps, we have a recap for you.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. Now from food and travel and local celebrities, lifestyle, Afrikaans TV show Pasella is bringing us a fresh and exciting season every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2. We are joined by the presenter, Vicky Davis. She's with us this morning. She's been hanging out, and of course, she's here to tell us all the great things to look forward to on the current season of Pasella.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the game. You've got to keep reinventing yourself. This we know. And the same works for a show. You've got to look forward and you've got to reinvent. But when you've got so much history and nostalgia and beautiful memories woven into a show, it's also good to look back and see how far you've come. Now, you touched on it, but I'm desperate to find out more about the tribute season. And it says some old faces, over 40 of the presenters. Yes. Have there been 40 of you guys that have kind of woven in and out of this story?
Can you believe it? Well, I mean, it's been 22 years, so you can imagine. Yeah, and
it's magical.
What a journey. So just not to confuse our viewers, currently on Pasella is the usual season as we know it.
Yes.
And then the tribute season, that is still to come.
Yes, that's starting next year, January. So what they're seeing at the moment, this is the last of the old school, good old Pasella in its normal format.
Yeah.
And then we are ending off with this fabulous tribute season, 13 episodes of just a look back over the last 22 years, everybody that contributed. Yeah.
I think that's going to require us to grab the tissues and really celebrate and take a trip.
I don't know how many times I've cried.
Look at the faces that are popping. It's actually crazy to me. Yes, there's been the presenter narrative, but there's been the viewer narrative, and you would probably know better than most how the viewers feel about it. And I know there's going to be a call to action to get people to have their voices heard, to have their own messages incorporated. How do your viewers feel about Pasella? What kind of feedback do you get from the people who watch the show?
Oh, it's been amazing. I think it's been very emotional, and people just sending in the most beautiful messages, and people are sad. I think that it's ending. You know, over 22 years. You know, some people that have been watching from the very beginning, and then Pasella's viewership has always been very wide. We've got very young viewers, and we've got we really hit a broad spectrum of viewers over a broad age group. So, and I think the nice thing is that we have this chance to say goodbye in a proper way.
Yeah.
It's not just abruptly ending for everyone, for us that are involved, but also for the viewers. So
it matters to the viewers.
Because it is such a long, you know, it's really like we were joking saying we have this beautiful funeral in a way, but it's not a funeral. It's really a celebration. We are absolutely celebrating, and the viewers can celebrate that with us. And you know, we are over the course of these 13 episodes, we are really saying goodbye, and the last episode is actually one big party, and Pasella has been the program that shows people how to have parties, and the last episode is the ultimate
it's a proper party.
So yeah,
I want you to think about who loves you the most, because I know that the tummies, the little old ladies love me. That's my zone right there. But I know that there's obviously our opportunity to win some amazing prizes as well if they get their submissions in on pasella.com, and it's closing date 26th of June.
Yes, so they can send us their goodbye messages. And I think they can win a cookbook.
They
right?
can, yes. How exciting. I always get so jealous because we've seen, obviously, we've got like a little bookshelf with all the different books that the Pasella have brought out throughout the years. Is this the latest cookbook?
Well, no, this cookbook, there's actually a volume 1 and 2, but we've got the volume 2 that we are giving away. This came out in the early stages of Pasella, but this was a huge thing when these cookbooks came out, and it's actually become a little bit of a collector's item.
Oh, fantastic.
Because, you know, and this is something that I've only realized recently when we had our interviews with, you know, chefs and the people that contributed with the cooking segments, that the contribution that Pasella did over the years just for South African cooking was actually momentous. Because 22 years ago, if you look at what was happening in the culinary sort of South African scene, South Africans weren't really celebrating their local produce and their local chefs as much as we do now. And that was quite a pinnacle thing that Pasela started.
You might have been the tipping point, in fact.
I know, and people like, you know, Ruben Riffel, these chefs, the local chefs that are so huge and celebrated now, actually started making their mark on Pasela, because that was what we were doing, going to local small places and looking at, you know, what are the local produce and who are making our people, and not just looking at the international styles and cooking in restaurants. It's not just, it's, yeah, I know, waterblommetjie bread, it can be a delicatessen. And so that's something I didn't realize. And
that's quite special.
And this was capturing those local recipes for
it's a celebration
first time,
of our culture. I love that. I'm going to round this off by asking you a very difficult question, because I know you're very proud of this.
Okay,
so
first of all, Wimmies love me the most.
Okay, I was going to say it's got to be the Wimmies. Why, as someone who is so emotionally connected and devoted to this amazing show, why do you want people to watch Pasela, especially now knowing that we've got a finite time left?
You know, I think for me, I see it as, it was almost from this kind of show, this variety show. It was, for me, it was an archiving a time and its people and the stories. And I think a show like this is quite important. So I would like people to see it and to be inspired to make the same kind of show. It can be TV, it can be any kind of medium, but to this kind of lifestyle reality TV where we are really going out and with, I always say, with dearness and with honesty, capturing stories that are not just the celebs, but it's like really trying to get the slice of life of our people and our stories is important. So I wanted to inspire people to go out and in their medium do the same.
Tell our
stories.
Pasela needs to live on.
In some way, it doesn't have to be the same, but this kind of storytelling is important.
And then you're going to get back into the acting side again. You're going to play a villain on a show. It's just going to be awesome.
I don't know why I always play the villain.
Of course. It's so great to have you on the show. Thank you for coming by. And of course, if you want to, you know, it's always so fantastic to catch up with Vicky. And make sure to also tune into Pasela every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2. And if you would love to enter your submissions to be part of that tribute season, make sure you send your videos through to pasela.com.
Ons spog met 'n splinternuwe seisoen van Pasela. Nou my lig weer, wat die lig weer. Op Woensdae 19:30 op SABC2. Hop, mooi! En by dit is daar 'n groot bonus wat vir kykers op die horison wink.
Dis jare sedert ek laas saam met julle gekuier het op Pasela.
Pasela 23 jaar. Dit is tyd om Pasela se 23 jaar te vier. En jy kan deel wees van hierdie spesiale huldeblyk-reeks.
Hier is ons al drie aan die einde van 2002.
Na ongelooflike 3 dekades op die lug, stap Pasela terug in tyd met 13 episodes wat vroeg volgende jaar uitgesaai word.
Hoe voel dit vir jou om weer voor die Pasela kameras te wees?
Dis 'n rukkie, né? Ons was die beginspan wat in die 90's.
Ons kuier by van ons gunsteling aanbieders.
Hoekom gemaak julle nie tongnat saam met Paul op die droogste wynroete in Suid-Afrika nie?
En by dit wil ons die kykers die kans gee om deel te wees van hierdie historiese seisoen.
Toe maar, is net ek.
As jy saam met ons op die kassie totsiens wil sê, deel 'n persoonlike video met jou afskeidsboodskap en 'n paar van jou hoogtepunte op Pasela oor die jare en staan 'n kans om 'n Pasela kookboek te wen. Video's kan op ons webwerf pasela.com ingestuur word. Die sperdatum is 26 Junie 2021 en bepalings en voorwaardes kan op ons webwerf gevind word.
Wow, all the memories going down with Pasela. But of course, as promised, JP Sebastian is back for another movie trailer. And hopefully he can maybe deliver this in Afrikaans, seeing that the theme of today is Afrikaans. Did you just hear the beautiful Afrikaans? So savor, so mooi.
I think deep word, but I tried to use to describe it was heerlik, which I don't think is correct at all, right? Like you wouldn't describe the language as yummy.
I will just press 1 for English, JP Sebastian. We have a movie to get through. Old.
Spare everyone. Yes, thank you.
Old.
You noticed.
Yeah.
So have you ever spent like enough time on a beach where you're just like, wait, where did the day go? Like,
All the time, every Sunday, when you're going to Camps Bay and you just have that 1 hour nap on the beach.
Well, I've got the movie to keep you in lockdown. Old is by director M. Night Shyamalan. You must have heard that name by now. The Sixth Sense, at least. Signs.
Rings a bell.
That Split movie with James McAvoy.
Yes,
where he's got multiple personalities.
yes.
So this dude is the dude for the twist in horror movies. And of course, horror movies have had twists forever, but he's the one who, like, oh my goodness, the dude's been a ghost the whole time, that type of thing. He's the godfather of it all. And I love him or hate him, and he's had some bad runs here and there. He's back with something that I suppose could be interesting, could be like great, like post-date kind of like, ooh, I wonder what if and how if and whatever. I'm very happy to see, first of all, Gael Garcia Bernal, who's one of the best living actors we have, Amores Perros, Y tu mamá también, etc., etc.
Ooh, okay, JP Sebastian, are we calling you Juavo now?
By here like Spanish. And Vicky Creeps. Why did I say that in an Afrikaans accent? Vicky Creeps, who was previously in Phantom Thread. She's fantastic, and her name is perfect for this as well, because the whole movie is creepy. And there are all these vacation and these holiday makers who go to a beach that's secluded. It's perfect. It's got these cliffs that fly up into this beautiful blue sky and crystal blue seas. But the problem with the beach is that, as you can see, they started out with kids who were like knee-high, and then suddenly they're shoulder-high. Across the day, across 24 hours, humans age from birth through to death on this beach, and they cannot escape it. Every time someone tries to run away, they pass out, or someone falls unconscious or something like that. Gael Garcia Bernal, as you can see on his face already, is getting wrinkly. The beach ages you. It makes you old.
This is how I feel hiking with Ryle. I feel like one day hiking with Ryle, then I literally feel like I've aged for 20
And
years.
he has the audacity to still look like a wax mannequin at the end of the day. Like, hey, ladies. Old, on the other hand, comes to... Oh, that's the weirdest description, I'm sorry. Ryle, we love you. You don't look like a wax mannequin. July 23rd. In South Africa on the big screen. M. Night Shyamalan, like I said, so Glass wasn't so like a kind of let down Split, which was a lot more interesting.
Split was up there.
So hopefully he's back on the game. And apparently this ties into his previous movies possibly as well. There'll be all sorts of conspiracy theories about what Old is going to do. But look forward to it nevertheless, 23rd of July.
Another one, Escape Room Tournament of Champions.
Escape. I don't know how you...
Escape?
No, it's Escape. I'm a dumb person, I'm sorry. So Tournament of Champions, I don't know how we're at the sequel to #1, and we're already at the Tournament of Champions. The first one, by the way, shot in Cape Town, I think it was entirely. I don't usually care for these horrors where it's like a throwaway sort of idea. Whatever, I suppose, like, you know, if it's low budget and it knows it's not trying to achieve, like, endgame kind of visibility, then, yeah, throwaway horror is just fine, I guess, but it just, there's a churn, there's a mull of these same things over and over, generic kind of stuff. However, Escape Room was kind of interesting to me. I had shame, a bit of a soft spot for it. It was a $9 million budget and ended up making somehow $150 million because people were interested in
And you
nothing.
didn't understand why?
Well, no, like, for a start, if you're going to make a B-grade kind of horror, at least get actors who know what they're doing, not like they're going to, you know, I don't know, end their careers in exotic dancing or something like that. Like, which you can be talented at too. I'm just saying they're not good actors necessarily. In the first one, however, everyone sort of ticked those boxes. Second one, now we reach the point where, oh, they pass through this escape room game. This is where someone sets up these rooms with traps in them and you have to solve the puzzle.
Have you ever done one?
No,
It's the best thing you should ever... Yeah.
People die, Jamie.
Yeah, because...
Jamie Lee, this is... No, it's a movie. No one actually dies, obviously, in real life. But you've done an escape room before.
Yes.
So you'd watch something like this where you might get trapped and someone will get you.
I would watch it now because I've been in an escape room and I've escaped, so that's fine. I've watched this before, but okay.
As the trailer like alludes to, what if you're still in an escape room? What if you still have mommy brain? What if this is all a game? What if, you know, the cameras are made out of chocolate? What if Ryle really is made out of wax? We don't know. We'll find out when Escape Room comes to South Africa. That, I think, is like mid-July or mid-June, who knows, whatever. It's very close is the point that matters. Sequel to Escape Room 1, which, like I said, low budget, totally forgettable, but ended up hitting sort of a sweet spot for a lot of people. Maybe this one will be good too. Higher budget production value as well, because it's paid off big time the first one time around, so it looks like, if you know, you're dealing with something a lot more professional than the first one too, which is important.
Did someone ever tell you watch too many movies? Okay, listen, we have another movie for you.
Stop
Last
paying me
Night
for this, I
in
beg you.
Soho. What is that all about?
Anya Taylor-Joy, who I mentioned earlier, The Witch. Thomas and Mackenzie, who previously was in Old, who I didn't mention, their shame. Last Night in Soho is by Edgar Wright, who is the director previously of the last thing that he did was Baby Driver. Before that, did Scott Pilgrim versus the World, way before that. Did the Cornetto trilogy with Simon Pegg, which is Hot Fuzz, blah, 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 Hot Fuzz. Darn it, the one with the zombies and The World's End. Anyway, so he's done horrors. What?
Look, sorry.
What?
No, never mind. Nothing on. Yeah.
You're messing with my head, clearly.
I'm just saying random things because I'm just trying to get you to.
You made a non-English, non-Afrikaans sound, and somehow it worked in your head, didn't work in mine. I'm sorry. So, anyway, the director knows what he's doing, and he's really spreading his wings here into different genres. This time he's doing horror that is pure horror, no comedy sort of bent to it, no Simon Pegg. Thomas and Mackenzie, who I mentioned already. Anya Taylor-Joy, who people love from the Chess TV series, also from The Witch. She's a fantastic horror queen in the making. Yes, this shot is pretty cool. There's a return, it seems, to a lot of the sort of 70s style of horror where stuff isn't necessarily spookies, where stuff isn't necessarily aliens or anything like that. Is it all happening in your head? You know, paranoia, the anxiety, the downward spiral of, you know, Lynchian kind of nightmare and whatever. Anyway, Last Night in Soho is this young lady. She's a fashion designer in the making. She has such an eye for it and whatever, and has this magical ability in Soho, in London in present day, to sink herself back into the 60s, where she finds one of her fashion icons, and she is able to link somehow telepathically with this person. Whether Anya Taylor-Joy, the person who she's linking with, knows that this person in present day is doing this across the time sort of frame, we'll find out soon enough when it comes to South Africa. That's September, I think it is. But yeah, tables turn against her, and the thing that she thought was a gift ends up being a curse. Anya Taylor-Joy wants her soul.
This is one of the movies that I sleep with, that I put a Bible under my bed after I watch it because,
Quran,
oh no,
Torah,
we
I'll
are
take
not
it
doing
all.
that. JP Sebastian,
I'll
so
take a
good to
Dr.
have
Phil
you.
book even. I hate Dr. Phil.
So
go.
Good to have you with us here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. That was our movie trailers. Let us know which one you are looking forward to watching.
Put Steve Harvey under my bed. Does that help?
Yeah, and your
How does this make any sense?
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. So good to have you in our company. It's been an amazing show so far, and it's only getting better.
Absolutely. Tabiso is standing by right now in Johannesburg, where we have Langa Mavuso ready to perform and get all the ins and out of what he's getting up to in Johannesburg right now.
Thank you very much, Graham and Jamie. A very good morning to you, Mzansi. Uncle Tabs here reporting to you live from the Constitution Hill out in Johannesburg. And here's the thing, you know, when I hit the road and I'm not in studio, that means the feel-good factor is about to be elevated to a whole new level. And we're not doing anything different this morning. We're bringing you a bit of a treat this morning in the form of Langa Mavuso. Oh yes, oh yes. So the next couple of minutes here on the Feel Good Breakfast Show is going to be an absolute experience as we catch up with, oh man, one of the hottest vocalists to ever hit Mzansi, or hit Mzansi, I suppose. Come out of Mzansi. But Langa, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you, Tabiso.
A Summer Award nominated musician.
Yes.
And the summer's coming up now, best R&B and soul.
Yes.
Well done, congratulations on that.
I appreciate
the last time we saw you was 2019.
Yes.
A lot's obviously since happened.
Of course.
Since then, take us through this nomination.
Oh my God. So I think the last time actually was 2020 when I just released my album.
Welcome back. Now that we've whet your appetite, Langa Mavuso standing by to bring us a magical performance in just a moment. But looking at the clock, it is time to get into those news headlines.
Yep, here Zoe is.
Thank you, team. Starting with your national headlines, Gift of the Givers says their team will be drilling for water at the Rahima Musa Mother and Child Hospital in Johannesburg to avert a water crisis there. The organization has already donated bottled water to the hospital, and its founder, Dr. Imtiaz Soliman, says drilling teams will be arriving at the hospital shortly. Their geologist, Dr. Gideon Groenewald, has already identified the drilling site. Gauteng's health department earlier raised concerns regarding the knock-on effects of the water disruptions on facilities such as the Rahima Musa and the Helen Joseph hospitals. And staying with local news, Eskom announced last night that stage 2 load shedding is set to continue until 10 p.m. on Friday. The power utility earlier said stage 2 would be implemented from 4 p.m. yesterday until 5 a.m. this morning. However, due to further breakdowns of generating units at Majuba and Arnott power stations, as well as delays in returning units to service at Arnott and Tutuka power stations, stage 2 load shedding will now be implemented from 10 a.m. this morning until 10 p.m. on Friday. And moving to news abroad, proceedings at the Pan-African Parliament in Midrand were once again suspended today amid a dispute over the electoral system. Attempts to elect new leadership for the PAP degenerated into chaos for a third day. The Southern Caucus wishes the leadership to rotate as per the rules of the African Union. The East and West Caucuses want to direct election. The candidates for the post of the president of the PAP are Fortune Charambira of Zimbabwe, Harira Sisa of Mali, and Albino Aubog of South Sudan. And more vaccination news is that Sinovac has become the second Chinese vaccine to receive the nod from WHO after Sinopharm. This opens the door for the jab to be used in the COVAX program, which aims to ensure fair access to vaccines. The vaccine, which has already been used in several countries, has been recommended for over 18s, with a second dose 2 to 4 weeks later. Sinovac prevented symptomatic diseases in more than half of those vaccinated and prevented severe symptoms and hospitalization in 100% of those studied. And bringing it back home, a sharp-tongued Tannie Evita Besaidenout calls out, "Vax us." Western Cape Premier Alan Windey yesterday wrote in Tannie Evita Besaidenout, entertainer Peter Dirk Ace's alter ego, to kickstart the provincial COVID-19 vaccination rollout in rural towns. The pair teamed up at Westbank Community Hall in Malmesbury, where Tannie Evita, who lives down the road in Darling, pronounced herself very relieved after being vaccinated. She said, and I quote, "Many of my generation don't know how to register. If you know how and someone doesn't, please help them to register. My son, De Kock, registered me. I couldn't get the little blue letters on the screen to turn black." Well, Wendy says he was a very big fan of Tannie Evita's. He thanked her for once again leading the front in our country. And by having the jab, said Wendy, she was helping to send an important message to residents across the province that the vaccine is safe and offers excellent protection against COVID-19. Western Cape Provincial Health MEC, Noma French Mbombo, said Tannie Evita's willingness to be vaccinated publicly would help to overcome vaccine hesitancy as the province aimed to double last week's tally of 6,000 jabs per day. Well done, and thank you to Tannie Evita from all of us at Expresso. Well, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's a final look at your sport.
Thanks so much. So, tennis dominating this morning, understandably, with all the action happening at Roland Garros. Kevin Anderson sadly making an early exit from the French Open after losing to South Korea's Kwon Soon Woo last night. Big serving South African losing 5-7, 4-6, 6-2, 6-7 to who is the 96th ranked player in the world at the moment. But fellow South African Lloyd Harris, he eased past Italian Lorenzo Sonego in straight sets. 7-5, 6-4, 6-4 in 2 hours and 19 minutes. Harris, who is currently the SA's top-ranked tennis player, will now face Brit Cameron Norrie in round 2 tomorrow. Then the king of clay, Rafa Nadal, started his bid for a 14th French Open title. That was after seeing off Australian Alexei Popyrin in the first round yesterday. The 34-year-old Spaniard, who is seeded third at this Grand Slam, fought back from being 2-5 down in that third set to beat Popyrin 6-2, 6-3, 7-6. Nadal will now be up against French tennis player Richard Gasquet in the Roland Garros second round. Then in the women's draw, world number 1 Ashley Barty on course, advancing to round 2 after beating American Bernarda Pera 6-4, 3-6, 6-2. Then great news from a South African perspective. South African MotoGP star Brad Binder is going to remain with KTM until 2024. The team announced this yesterday. The 25-year-old, of course, won his first Premier Class race and secured KTM's first ever MotoGP victory at Brno last year, and did so in spectacular fashion. Binder has now signed a 3-year contract extension with the Austrian factory, and this means he'll be at the team for 10 years after coming up through the ranks from Moto3. MotoGP returns to action in Spain this weekend for the Catalan Grand Prix. Binder currently in 8th place in the overall standings. Then finally on to cricket, and a battle royale about to unfold. England will play host to New Zealand at the famous Lord's Cricket Ground in the first of 2 tests starting later today. But the hosts are going to be without several key players, including Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer, who are both out with injury, and then Jos Buttler, Johnny Bairstow, Sam Curran and Chris Wokes all being rested. Kane Williamson will be leading the Black Caps in front of roughly 7,000 people at Lord's as Joe Root captains the home side. And day 1 of that first test will start at 12 p.m. South African time today. Well, that's a wrap of your sport for this morning. Time now to get one last glance at the beautiful skies above your neck of the woods.
Thank you so much, G, for that final sports update. Also time for me to say thank you to all of our viewers that took the time to share their sunrise views with us this morning. Now, of course, we started the morning with 2 regular contributors. Fatah Khan was the first who shared this beautiful image captured overlooking the harbour in the bay, with clouds scattered across the skyline and the sun just starting to peek through in the distance. Another regular, of course, Gary Alkamp, also shared this burnt orange photo of the sun rising over East London earlier in the week. At 7 a.m, we kicked off with your update with Josephine Pickstone, who took this photo from Oudtshoorn in Cape Town, showing the sun breaking through the clouds in the distance. And then last but definitely not least, Rosemary also shared the silhouetted image showing off a pink and purple skyline. Absolutely stunning. And while we do enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the USA. And this morning we report on the weather from Malé, the capital and most populous city in the Republic of Maldives. Now, with a population of 227,486 and an area of 8.30 square kilometers, it is also one of the most densely populated cities in the world. Now, due to their underwater scenery and clean water, the Maldives is ranked among the best recreational diving destinations of the world, with over 60 local dive sites across the islands. In accordance with its tropical climate, today will be a mostly sunny day, reaching a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius, and definitely destination goals. Now next, let's hear where things stand weather-wise. Lesotho woke up to a winter wonderland yesterday morning, with the Maluti Mountains covered in a blanket of snow. 2 centimeters of snow fell during the night, bringing the first winter snowfall. Annually, the snowfall attracts visitors from across the country. However, of course, due to the pandemic and the subsequent lockdown restrictions, it's fairly quiet at the moment. And the South Africa Weather Service has warned of a low-pressure cut-off system that will result in cold temperatures. The low-pressure system will bring 5 to 15 centimeters of snow over Lesotho and the southern Drakensberg Mountains in the Eastern Cape. And then meanwhile, the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Cooperative Governance has also warned residents to plan trips carefully amid the prediction of snow in coming days. The Weather Service says towns such as Underberg and Kokstad can expect more snow. Storms, thunderstorms and cold temperatures are still forecast in the province until Saturday. Keeping with the temperatures in in South Africa. This is a final look at the temperatures for today. For you, Polokwane, do expect a low of 5 today, peaking at 18. If you're out and about in Umbombela, expect a range of 10 to 23. Pretoria, for you, it is a low of 6 and a high of 17. And then Johannesburg, partly cloudy conditions ranging from 4 to 14. Mahikeng coming through with a low of 3 and a high of 18. Klerksdorp, for you, it is 116. Kimberley, 518. And then Bloemfontein ranges from 4 to 18. If you do find yourself in Richards Bay today, expect a minimum of 13 and a maximum of 21. Pietermaritzburg, rain is coming your way with a low of 11 and a high of 15. Durban, a 93% chance of rain, and it ranges from 16 to 20 as well. Mthatha, 9-13. East London, 14-18 with an 80% chance of rain. And then Craddock coming through with a low of 6 and a high of 16. Gqeberha, for you, it is 13-19. George, 12-17. The mother city, Cape Town, with a low of 13 today and a high of 19. And then Worcester following shortly with a minimum of 7 and a high of 19. Sutherland, 2-14. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 7 to 20 today. Well, that is where I leave your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Shimmy, man.
I can't
Move
shimmy.
it. No, you can shimmy. I know
cold.
you
It's
can.
cold.
Warm up. That's how you warm up. Do you know why you need to warm up? Because you've got about 1 million things to make for me this morning.
You know that's why I can't shimmy.
You're busy. You're busy, busy. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the show. It is that time of the week. Welcome back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ding, ding, ding!
Chef Clem is going to try and shimmy his way into your hearts this morning. Of course, our amazing foodie panel have prepared a lot here. We're going to try and answer as many of your culinary conundrums as we can. And today we're going to be exploring some of those winter puddings that make us feel oh so good. And if you have any questions for Chef Clem, please give us a call right now, 021 110 552. I don't know why I'm telling you that, because you've got it on speed dial. So they have it on speed dial. You took a step back. Do winter puddings intimidate you? Do they excite you? How are you feeling about this, man?
I love winter puddings. I love winter in general, because it's when you really get to indulge, okay?
Yeah.
And just like eat your emotions, and if it looks a little cold outside, you know, you're gonna make a soup.
Make a soup
you're gonna
feel
have
better.
a pudding, and it's really like a time to celebrate local puddings.
And there are so many ways that you can approach it, and there is a lot of South African nostalgia woven into so many of these puddings. So I don't even know where we should begin, because we've got a lot going on here.
Yes.
We've got a lot going on here. So inspire me. What are we going to make first?
Okay, so we had a question, okay? And apparently you've got that question in front of you.
Okay. William Jumat said, "Hi, Chef Clem. Where can I get a lacquer recipe for rice pudding?"
Lacquer recipe.
Not just a recipe for rice pudding, a lacquer one, bro.
So, it's going to start off by making a custard.
Okay.
It sounds very complicated, but it's not. Okay, in this pot, I've got some milk and I've got some cream, and I've heated them together. And I'm going to add some vanilla to that. You can use extract, you can use paste, you can use essence. It's fine, whatever you've got, get that in there.
You just need the vanilla vibes.
Right. So we're talking about seasonality. So I've got some Clement Gold zest and Clement Gold juice in with my eggs already. And I didn't start mixing them yet because we'll actually start cooking the eggs. So don't. Just leave it on top there. So what you're going to do is start breaking it up, giving it a mix. We're going to add some honey, because honey, okay, and I said this last week, honey's actually a little acidic, okay? It's
sweet, but it's got an edge.
So
Okay.
it brings out flavor, and it just adds. I mean, you'll get a bit of that flavor, but it just kind of rounds off the dish.
Okay.
That goes in there. sugar, because you need that sweetness.
Yeah, we're making a pudding, dude. We're not making bread here. We're making a pudding. So
don't play. Sugar goes
sweet.
in
Cool.
there. And it's not a lot of sugar. Actually, if you look at all of that, it's not a lot of sugar. Salt, very important. Whenever you're baking, you got to use salt.
Why? Why, Chef Tim?
It's not to make it salty. It's to bring out the flavors of everything else. It actually brings out the flavor of the honey. It brings out the flavor of the Clement Gold that's in there. Salt. Okay? Salt. Got it.
You're a Clement Gold. You are. You're a Clement Platinum. You are.
I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, cool. So give it a mix, and I've said this before, as soon as you start adding the sugar, you're gonna see your eggs starting to thicken and change color.
Cooking.
Because they're actually starting to cook. But not like heat.
Yes, I get it. It's a chemical process. But it is. You're like a mad scientist creating a potion.
I love it. If I wasn't a chef, I think I'd become a doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
If you got the white coat underneath. You check, he's got his white coat underneath.
Yes. If you weren't a presenter, what would you be? Random conversations we're having during Culinary Hotline.
I'd be a chef.
Would you? I believe that.
No, I love food.
I do believe that. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're tempering. So I've got cold eggs and I've got hot milk. We're going to add all of it as into scrambled eggs.
Soft.
You don't want that.
Okay.
So you're going to be delicate. You're going to mix, add a little bit. We're just bringing up the temperature of the eggs. And as soon as you can kind of feel the eggs a little warm, you can go in with the rest. If you do scramble your eggs, don't stress.
Okay.
Just pass it through a sieve, catch all the bits of eggs that have curdled.
Okay.
Don't worry, don't throw it away.
It's not like it's going off or anything, it's just that they've just gone a little too far.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love rice puddings because you can actually use leftover rice.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm left-handed.
Wow, you just blown my mind.
Did you? Did you not know that?
No.
Okay. But, okay, rice. This is rice that we had yesterday from dinner. It's actually from my own home. I had my tomato breedy, brought some leftover rice.
Gee whiz, how much rice did you make, dude?
A lot. Because whenever I make rice, I always make a lot because you can freeze rice, especially now, load shedding.
Because I know, hey?
Yeah. Pop it out, take it out the freezer, microwave for like a minute, boom, fresh rice, done.
Sorted. Okay.
So.
Or in this instance, maybe you just feel like because it's cold outside, you feel like a little bit of rice pudding.
And you just go.
Warm you up from the inside out.
There we go.
But it must be cooked already.
It must be cooked. I mean, there are recipes that you can do it without having it cooked. I find this way it's quicker. So get your rice in there. Don't leave any grain of rice behind, okay? So we're gonna pop it in a ramekin. You can also do this in one big dish. Which is great.
I like the cute little mini ramekins. That's very sweet.
Yeah, I like it. It's quite intimate. I agree with you. So then, let's go in there, mix it all up. Get yourself a ladle.
Okay.
This guy, a soup spoon. Like I said, you can either pour this directly into one big dish. We're gonna do little individual ones. Get yourself a ladle, get some of that custard, get the rice.
You've got to kind of get a balance of rice and custard there, hey?
Yeah, so you can kind of like go back in, try and like strain off some of that liquid if you want more rice.
Cool.
And then what I love about this, it gets a water bath. So we're gonna pour a little bit of water into the oven tray till it comes up halfway up the sides of the dish. Then it goes into the oven at 160 because it's a custard. Whenever you're working with a custard, you're always gonna bake at 160.
160.
Because you don't want to. You want to.
160. Okay.
You want to slowly cook those eggs, right? You don't want to shock it and you get sweet scrambled eggs.
Can you run yourself a warm bath, and while your custard is bathing, you have a quick bath?
And then when it's done, you get into the bath with
your thing.
Yes,
oh wow.
Absolutely. Okay, you wanna play with fire?
Yes.
Safely, responsibly. We're both adults. Okay.
I've never been allowed to use that thing before, and I don't know what that says
Today's
about
your day. So you can see it's come out the oven now.
And it's got a lovely skin on top. Hey? That looks
Custards
beautiful.
do that.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I've got space so everybody can see
this. And a baked custard has a different flavor profile, hey, to a normal kind of just mixed runny custard. It really does take on a different flavor profile completely.
Okay. What you do is add a little bit of sugar to the top. This is how you do a creme brulee as well.
Oh wow!
So sugar. I'm going to let you do your own one.
We've just taken our rice pudding, and now do you know what you're doing?
What am I doing?
You're making it lekker.
Now we're making it lekker.
Now you're just leckerizing it.
So we're going to like kind of just dust that sugar all over the top. You can go do your one.
Okay.
And I'm not even going to give you the demonstration. You can just hoy. You ready?
See, I like to use songs and gee whiz. Now after hearing that, I'm ready.
You can pop your, and here you go. So what you're going to do is start slowly, start to caramelize that sugar. If you don't have a blowtorch at home, what you can do is add some sugar to a pan, let it start melting, and then just drizzle that over the top. But you've done this. You've done this before.
The power's going to my head, I won't lie.
Right. Creme brulee everything, or brulee everything.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed.
So is this the brulee? Am I bruleeing right
now? The brulee. So what you do is actually present this to your guests, and you come out with the sugar, let them all like brulee their own tops. That's how you make it lacquer.
Hey,
and that's
how's
how...
that? I don't want it to burn. Hey,
No, you've done it. I'm so impressed. And you're going to get that signature little crack.
Aren't you going to brulee?
Oh, okay.
Watch, he's now going to make me look like a tool.
No. You've done yours brilliantly. So the thing is to keep on moving the flame torch
so it doesn't
around.
burn
So it doesn't
anywhere.
burn.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be like a light color. It's supposed to be quite like
must caramelize.
dark. That's a brulee.
Look at that.
Have you got it?
Just
there we go. Do you want to give it a little tappy tap?
Can you hear that?
Yeah, you can give. You want to go?
Hello.
It's nice. It's nice.
Hello,
As long as it sets, it's going to get a little harder. Then you get your spoon and you go. That's how you make a lacquer rice pudding. Yes.
Watch this. I hope you've got a close up.
Yes.
Whoa. Beautiful. Hey, look at that.
It's beautiful.
What? Oh, goodness, I forgot. A very good morning. Who am I speaking to? Marius, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Marius, very good morning. You're talking to Graham and Chef Clem here. Great to welcome you to the Culinary Hotline. Bling, zing, zing, zing. We'd love to hear your comment, your question this morning. What is your conundrum for our amazing Clem and Gold here?
I don't know. Conundrum, there's a lot. But I tell you what, beautiful food. And you know what? I'll done much a show every day.
Oh, I love you, man. Okay, I'm going to put you on speakerphone. Just hang on a sec. Okay. Give us your question. What do you want to ask this genius chef next to me here?
Brilliant, Chef, I must say. Chef, Clem, I just want to know, sometimes when I make, or most of the times when I make lemon meringue tart, or the lemon meringue pie, when I dish up, the meringue moves away from the base. How do you keep those two together? You understand what I'm saying?
It's like an analogy for our relationship with our better halves.
Yes.
How do we keep it together? How do we keep the base and the meringue together?
Okay, so are you saying after it's set and you slice into it, the two separate?
Yes.
Okay, so are you using corn flour in your curd?
No.
You're not using corn flour, so you
normal flour, yeah.
Sorry?
Do you use normal flour?
Okay, so what I've actually found, when you make curds, you don't have to use corn flour and you don't have to use flour. Last week on Culinary Hotline, we made a lemon curd and we just set it with eggs. Sometimes when you use flour or corn flour, it sets like a jelly and then separates from the base.
Layer.
And you can actually even remove the whole thing from the base and just slap. No, you don't slap. So it just gets very jelly-like. So what I prefer doing is making the curd with just the egg yolks in there. And I think you can go to YouTube and check out last week's segment on how we made that lemon meringue curd.
Yes.
And the reason that it is separating is just because you're adding too much of a thickener and it's binding your curd too much. That's why it's separating from your base. And also for your base, a good tip is just use a little bit of extra butter. It'll set your base really well. Whatever biscuit you're using, it'll just give you like a nice solid crust. And when you pour that curd over, you can still pour it over when it's slightly warm and let it cool and set on top of that base. The two will be like this and they will not separate.
They'll marry.
They will marry.
Excellent.
In holy matrimony.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. That was a great question, man. And I like the fact that he was watching last week and he took on board.
Yes.
And we were able to help him with another amazing recipe. Okay, we have been loving the fact that people have been loving their puddings. And Gary Okamp, who's a regular, he's an OG. He's an absolute OG. He had this to say on Facebook: I love sticky baked pudding, especially Mulva pudding with thick hot custard.
Can we make it lekker?
Can we laccerize it?
Can we liquorize it? Okay, we're going to do this one very quickly.
Okay.
So, get a bowl. What I've done is I've melted some butter and some sugar together. It's in the pot over here. Where we at? Someone's looking in. There we go. There we go. So, getting that into a pot. Oh, okay, here's the thing, right? If your would you pop this back on it. If your sugar does crystallize like this, also in future for other recipes, if you're heating butter and sugar together, they crystallize like this, pop it back on the heat, it's going to soften. I've been talking too much, so just get your sugar and your butter into a bowl.
But it's been all interesting stuff, dude, so don't worry. You're allowed to talk. That's why we need you here, man.
Right? Okay, cool. Then we're going to go in with some milk and eggs, huevos, in.
Just summer.
Summer. Okay. Then we've got some...
Was that just the yolks or was that the whole egg?
That was just the yolks. It was just the yolks. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Vinegar.
Vinegar?
Vinegar and apricot jam, if you don't use it in your malva, it's not a malva.
Okay.
Right, it's something else. It's still going to be good, but it's not a malva.
It's not lekker.
Apricot jam, it's not going to be lekker. Give it a mix. Then in here, I've got some flour, and we've sifted that. G, can you add the baking powder?
I can. Just sommer?
Sommer. That's the word. Give it a mix.
Oh, yeah. I haven't got a mixing tool, man. Go on.
Okay, very, very cool. We're going to add this to our flour and our baking powder.
Okay.
I'm going to give you, let's just multitask, okay? I'm going to give you the spatula of wisdom, and then I'm going to add, and you're going to give it a mix for me.
Okay.
And I was supposed to do it slowly, but you know what?
Why?
I just know that you can just tackle it and you can win. I'm going to give you the spatula of grace.
Of grace? Oh,
Sorry, the whisk of grace.
The whisk of grace.
Whisk it all up for me. Then, in here, I've got some butter, okay? And then to the butter, here's how we're going to make
vinegar.
You're winning. You're winning.
Am I graceful, though?
You are so graceful. I'm going to come around this side. So I've got some malted butter. This is... A malva needs a lacquer sauce, okay?
Completely.
So, butter, sugar,
Uh-huh.
and you can use water, you can use milk, or you can use this juice of fermented African marula fruit. I won't say which one, but you know.
Known the world over. Wow.
Really is. Okay, so
This batter's come together beautifully.
it's beautiful.
Man, hey?
You can pour that into.
That's all right. Like I say.
You know what? You don't want to mix it anymore. That's the one. You can pour that into your dish. Your sauce goes onto the heat. That goes into the oven. Gary Ocampo, we did this like in record time. Then, when it comes, I'm bringing it over. I'm not supposed to. How? Tell me.
How high? must I
Higher.
do it? Higher.
Higher.
Will this rise?
A little bit.
A little bit.
And then what you can do is if you have any leftovers, you pop in a little ramekin and you make yourself a little chef's portion.
Of course you do. Is that all right? More?
Perfect.
Yes?
Perfect. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Here's a spoon.
Thank you.
I'm going to pop this out the way. We made a little mess, but that's fine. So when it comes out the oven, looking sticky and delicious, you pour over your beautiful sauce with your fermented African marula fruit.
That's
it seeps into it. So with some hot custard on the side, and you give it a taste.
Can I taste it right
Please
now?
do.
Oh, man, I don't know if I'm up for this. Or it's spongy.
Spongy?
It's got that toffee vibe about it.
Right, nice and glossy.
Oh, look at that. Look at how the sauce has kind of seeped through and seeped in. And
I'm going to kind of...
Excuse me being weird and smelling the food, but I'm just interested because of the apricot and the vinegar that we put in.
Look how dense that is.
Look at the size of your mouthful.
And you want it to be that dense. That's exactly what you want. Yes. It's 2 days in a row that I got it from you. That's all I want in life. Did we do well?
My goodness, you can find this recipe, and I suggest you go and find this recipe right now on expressoshow.com. That is delicious. Gary, this is going to be better than any malva pudding you've ever eaten ever in your life. I'm sorry. Lekker. This is lekker. That's lekker.
You lekker. You lekker.
My Clement Gold. Thank you for some brilliant suggestions and questions on the culinary hotline. Bling!
Ting! Ting! Ting!
Beautiful. I'm going to have another.
welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. Time to have some fun, because I think right about now seems like a good time to enjoy some coffee and play a game. My favorite game of 5 seconds. Now, this morning we have the lovely, the beautiful Vicky Davis from Pasela joining us in the hot seat, and she will be playing against our very own Zoe Brown for the coveted box of choc chip. Oh, my Russ over here. I'm hyping it all up.
Prize up for grabs.
Vicky?
I'm nervous. I'm so nervous.
Don't be. The worst thing is going to happen is you're going to fight over the box of Russ at the end of it, but the rules are simple. I'm going to ask you questions. You have 5 seconds to answer them. And today we're doing it easy. The theme is movies.
Okay.
So film and movies. You've been a part of it for a long time, so it's going to be easy. Zoe, play nice.
I will.
Play nice.
I promise. I do get a little competitive.
No, I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Seeing that you're nervous, I'll start with you first, Zoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
So
it?
you're fine with that? Okay.
Yes.
Zoe, here we go. Name 3 characters on Friends.
Rachel, Phoebe, and Joey. I love Friends.
That's easy. Yeah, you see? Nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Get spicy a bit later on. Vicky, name 3 South African TV shows.
Pasela, Expresso, Afternoon Express. That's easy.
You're the one. Come and give me extra 5 points just for naming all of us.
Keep it in the family.
Back to you, Zoe. Name 3 movies about love.
The Notebook. P.S. I love you. And then I can't think of movies about
You
love.
loveless person.
All the rom-coms, Cinderella.
Yeah, it's okay. 5 seconds stop.
Oh,
but
yes.
thank you so much.
But
A
yes,
for
it's all
effort.
going to be animation. Okay.
Vicky, name 3 movies starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
Ooh. Titanic. Wolf of Wall Street. No, what am I doing?
It's 5 seconds.
That's why I booped, because the timer ran out.
Oh, that was so quick.
Wasn't a good round for both of you,
No.
but there's on to the next one. Zoe, back to you. Name 3 famous actresses.
Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, and Meryl Streep.
Just in time. Vicky, name 3 talk show hosts.
Zoe Brown, Oprah Winfrey, and Ricky Lake. Where did that come from? I'm so old.
Okay, going back to the 90s with Ricky Lake over there. We got you, girl.
I
We
used
got
to
you.
watch it.
Go, Ricky. Go, Ricky. Go, Ricky.
She actually got engaged the other day.
I didn't know that. I don't follow her on social media, obviously.
Zoe, back to you. Name 3 celeb couples.
Oh my gosh. George and Amal Clooney.
Oh, 1.
That took me for a 5.
5 seconds is not a lot. I mean, you can't even name one in
I think of couples.
Jennifer Aniston.
And?
No, I'm lying.
She's not in a couple
Brad
now.
Pitt and
He's not
in a couple. Everybody's broken.
J-Lo
They're not in a couple
and
anymore. Ben
Affleck. They
But
just,
are they a couple?
they.
Okay.
I don't know.
I needed more than 5 seconds for that.
Yeah, but that was tricky. Vicky, name your 3 favorite movies. This one's easy.
The English Patient. Okay, now I'm just naming my children's ones. Shrek and Aristocats. I don't know.
You're a mom. You get away with it because you're a mom. That's all you're watching. You're watching the kiddies' movies.
I know. That's
When
all
was the last time you watched a movie?
I can't remember. What, 6 years ago?
3 kids.
Exactly that. Okay, I still have time. This one is where we get spicy, ladies.
Oh.
So this is going to be the decider because, you know, it's a tie for now. So Zoe, final round. Name, I don't even want to say it. Zoe, name 3 leading men you'd love to share an on-screen kiss with.
Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Henry Cavill. Hello.
I should have asked South African
Oh,
men.
no.
What's wrong with this?
It's too close to home, Jamie.
But that's why I wanted. I wanted that little bit of spice to be like, okay.
I can't even think. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay.
Vicky, name 3 leading South African men you'd love to share an on-screen kiss with.
She's married.
No, South African.
Not South African.
Okay,
Is that a
okay.
real
What
question?
do we? No, come on. We have to do that again.
I'll do it again just for you. Name 3 on-screen men that you'd love to share a kiss with.
Okay.
I'm going to blame this entire...
I'm thinking of the character names and I can't think of the actor names. Anyways.
Do you know what? I'm going to say this because your mom, that is why that, and also you married, so you didn't want to say anything. And that's I was trying to get some brownie points here. But Vicky, it's been lovely having you. I think
that was epic.
The votes are in.
Okay. I'm going to drive home and like, oh, that's the guy. What is this Thor guy? What is? Oh no, and his brother.
Liam Hemsworth. Yes, you could have gone that way. But listen, it's been great connecting with you, Pasela. Every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. on SABC2, we're going to connect with you. But of course, you're still hanging without us. With us, you're on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So lovely having you.
To be here. Thank you.
Of course, you at home, you can be the star of your own home by winning yourself a delicious Omar Rusk hamper. And of course, that 1,000 Rand is still available and up for grabs. Now, to enter, tell us which flavor Omar Rusk and hot drink combo is your favorite and also why. Now, share your answer on the competition post on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter page using the hashtag #DippingTime. Now, every entry also increases your chances of winning the 12,000 Rand Smeg hamper, and the entries close today at 12 p.m. So get on it right now, ASAP. And all those T's and C's can be found on our website expressoshow.com.
There we go.
I think Graham is signaling that we should have chosen him.
You know what?
What about me? Oh, funny.
Any time is dipping time when it's with the ones you love.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Koo is all about growing the best to nourish.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Koo is all about growing the best to nourish you best. And the brand new show, Colour Your Plate with Koo, will take viewers on a journey from farm to fork, challenging South Africans to add more fruit and vegetables to their plate. We love the sound of that. And we are joined by Koo's official nutritionist, Arthur Ramaroka, to tell us a bit more. You've got an important job, Arth. You're going to be a judge through the process, which is going to be a lot of fun. But I think the most important element here is that we are trying to promote good nutrition in a simple way. So what does good nutrition mean to you?
That's a very good question, Graham. And I think we first need to understand what balanced nutrition is. It's really about making healthy eating and eating better more easier for people. It's about enjoying a variety of different types of foods in adequate amounts so that you can promote your good health and well-being.
I love that. And, you know, the overall well-being has been a focus this year, especially. I think people need to focus on their holistic health a lot more. When we talk about colour, it's not just for Sundays, it's a 5 a day every day. What does that mean?
Absolutely. 5 a day refers to the fact that you need to have 5 fruits and vegetables for good eating, and 3 of those needs to be vegetables and 2 needs to be fruits. And it is as easy as having 1 serving of a fruit or a vegetable in your meals or as a snack during the day. And also, I think the important thing about color is that the more colorful your food is on the plate, it means you're going to get more wholesome benefits. And I mean, with Koo, the importance is that you don't have to start in the kitchen chopping. It's already made for you, right? You just all need to do is pop a can or a jar and have the wholesomeness that comes from the product.
I'm looking at a lot of color on that plate already, and I'm getting really, really hungry here. So maybe you can use this as a practical example. How do you go about getting that balanced plate, say, for dinner?
Yeah, how you plate your food is really important, and we always need to ensure that we look at our plate in a way that it will actually work for us. The important thing is that the first quarter of your plate needs to have a starch. It could be in any form, be it rice, be it pap, be it potatoes, and you go to your protein. It could be chicken, it could be beef, it could be legumes in the form of beans, and also it has to be a quarter of your plate, and the remaining half of your plate needs to be different colors of vegetables. You can have your reds, you can have your yellow, you can have your greens, whichever you like, so that you have, the vibrant plate, right, that is more colorful, and you're going to get the benefits that we're talking about. And also, just to complete the plate, you can have a spoonful, of beans.
Or 2 spoonfuls, or 3 if you're so inclined.
The important thing is just to remember that the portion size needs to be in balance.
Oh, completely. I get that, and I love that idea. The more color, the more nutrients that you're getting. It's plain and easy. All right, we've got an exciting journey ahead of us in the Koo Color Your Plate competition. It's going to be obviously a competition element, which means that people not only are getting the health benefits, but they're going to be competing with one another. How can people enter?
Yes, all people need to do is buy Koo products, any 3 Koo products, and create a plate similar to this one, and of course adding their own twist and taking a picture of their colorful plate and sending that via WhatsApp with the phrase Koo 5 a day and follow the prompts.
It's going to be easy, and then if you are awesome, just maybe you will win your share of 500,000 Rand in prizes. Arthur, thank you so much. So cool to be starting this journey with you. Thank you for sharing the importance of 5 a day with us. Hopefully you've taken it on board. We're looking forward to learning how to make eating healthier a lot easier. We're looking forward to learning how to make eating better easier as well. Here is a little reminder of how you can enter to be on Color Your Plate with Koo.
A healthier you starts with you and your plate. Join us on a nourishing journey by entering to be on SABC2's new show, Color Your Plate with Koo. To be part of the show, buy any 3 Koo products and send Koo 5 a day to 072 741 5357 on WhatsApp. Follow the steps to load a picture of your colorful meal served and stand to win prizes valued at 500,000 Rands with Koo. Koo, uzotwala.
That plate reminds me of the city. Let's just talk about it, and let's be honest, because Cape Town is undoubtedly South Africa's melting pot of design. And as a former design capital of the world, the mother city is brimming with exceptional talent. We know this. Now, showcasing this and providing inspiration to everyone with a keen eye is one of Cape Town's event institutions called Decorex.
That's right. And this year they are changing things up with all new and exciting designs. It is an exciting design trail which takes visitors on a tour of Cape Town's top design hotspots, an experience not to be missed. And here to tell us more is Decorex Africa Portfolio Director Cyanne Cullingworth and Creative Director Anita Bloom joining us on the couch. Good morning, ladies.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Exciting.
So exciting. Really, really is.
Way to keep up with times. I can imagine last year must have been different for everybody. A lot of the events got cancelled. This year you're coming bigger, better, keeping up with the new norm. Tell us how it all started and how the idea came about?
Well, I think you've summed it up so perfectly. I think last year was really difficult for everyone, but the event and the entertainment industry has really been hit hard. Because of COVID and the regulations, we obviously are not allowed hosting large gatherings. And Decorex specifically in Cape Town hosts 36,000 people. So for us, it was obviously not an option to even look at running the event again this year. So that's why we've come up with this very exciting initiative called the Decorex Design Trail. And it's really about bringing our industry together again. Showcasing what Cape Town has to offer. 2014, we were the design capital of the world. So why not host it in the mother city and why not start it in Cape Town? We've got such incredible brands down here. And it was really about showcasing those brands to our community and making sure that everyone knew what was on their front doorstep.
Oh, and it's so necessary, especially to encourage people. I know we're saying socially distanced, but it's also so important to get out safely and doing that. Now, I know that it's only taking place in Cape Town. Why is that? And I'm assuming it will branch out to other cities in the country?
So basically, Decorex Cape Town was set to take place as the exhibition in June this year. So we decided to keep the dates so that we could relive the brand and make sure the brand was still alive in June in Cape Town. And that's why we have started it in Cape Town. We are hoping to make sure that this does happen in other regions. And even when events do come back, is to have it kind of next to as a collaboration with the events when they are back in its full format.
And I know you guys said last night was obviously the launch and people so excited to see what can people expect with regard to the brand and also designers for the trail.
Yeah, so what we've done is we've actually curated these beautiful routes. So if you're renovating your home, there's a special route you can take. If you're going for a design experience, we've partnered with the Silo, with Gorgeous George, with Zyke's Marker. So you can go on an art tour, you can go have a cocktail, you know, Gorgeous George. So you can go on experiential routes. If you're renovating, you can go on the renovation route. There's the decor and design inspiration route. So whatever it is that you're looking for in your home, we've got a beautiful, easy to use map, which is all geotagged, so it's easy for you to find the route you want, find the product that you're looking for, and it's really, it's going to be a fun experience to just bring the city alive and just reconnect the industry again.
I definitely feel like this design trail that you guys have invented is here to stay, and it's just going to get bigger and better as the years come along. And I mean, I'm one of those people that love going to, I call them the Instagrammable places, which are some of the places you've just mentioned. Now, for people going there, are they going to be doing something different, or will it be the usual things you would see if you've been to Gorgeous George or the Zyke's Market?
Yeah, absolutely. What we've really encouraged and we've seen a lot of is the collaboration. You know, we want people to come together. These times have been so different and we've all had to think out the box. And what we've seen is designers collaborating. Even if it's the same kind of product, they're coming together and they're coming up with unique ideas. And we're really going to see a lot of this along the trail. So at their showrooms, we're going to see a lot of people that have just done a beautiful pop-up installation of a curated, beautiful, collaborative space. We've encouraged them to do promotions, launch new products. So it's really going to be different. You know what I mean? It's not just like going to visit the showroom on a normal day. It's going to be an experience. Concept stores, I really encourage everyone to go out and get onto this trail.
Here's my question. How much work went into this? Because you can see the passion. You can see you guys beaming out of this. Exhaustion as well, I'm sure.
Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, we live, breathe and sleep exhibitions. It's in our nature. We're used to long nights and building up all hours of the night at the CTICC. We have never experienced anything like this before. It was very exciting. It was something new for us. We learned so much and we love learning new things. But it was a lot of hard work. But just to see it all come together now, it was incredible. Incredible.
So for anyone watching now and they're in Cape Town or they're planning on being in Cape Town, when exactly is the Decorex Design Trail taking place?
So we encourage everyone to register. What happens when you register? You can go onto www.decorex.co.za. Register, you get a QR code. When you get that QR code, you get access to everything. We've done a beautiful online magazine with incredible content. Everyone that's listed on the trail, you get all the promotions, the discounts, the competitions, the launch products, the specials that the different hotels and restaurants are offering, and you actually get access to the map. So please register and you get everything all in one email, and it's for a month. So it started yesterday officially and it goes all the way until the 30th of June. So it really is giving the industry an opportunity to be at the forefront of design and media and just have that exposure for a full month.
Sold, Cyan. Anita, so good to be able to connect with you this morning. I think we are excited for this, excited for you guys to take this to a whole new level. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thank you for joining us. And it's just, you know, it's the thing to see. It is trendy decor in the shops, but it's also a real treat to be able to interact with the designers and the creators on a personal level. So hop on over this year's Decorex Cape Town Design Trail. Visit decorex.co.za to register for free and get more information about this very, very exciting exhibit.
See life through the cutting-edge designs of metal windows. Every steel or aluminium window and door is custom-made using their Foreman brand systems designed by and exclusive to metal windows. In any space, residential, retail, commercial or hospitality, they provide custom solutions to fit the needs of you, their client. Get inspired with their portfolio on metalwindows.co.za, Facebook and on Instagram.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to the kitchen. Thomas Keller once said this. This is a perler. A recipe has no soul. You as the cook must bring soul to the recipe. And in order to do that, you need not only the best ingredients, but also the best cookware. Smeg. Gems, spelled backwards, is synonymous with all the taste and elegance of Italy, and their new cookware collection is one of the most meticulously crafted and strikingly beautiful series of pots and pans, yet Chef Clem can testify.
They're beautiful.
What I like about the Smeg ranges, they don't get packed away, they get put out on a display unit. You build a shelf for your Smeg.
Absolutely, and then you hand them down to like your kids and your grandkids,
so that they can buy you new ones next Christmas or birthday or International World Food Day.
This new range is beautiful, right?
It's stunning.
And it's in Woolies stores right now. Let's talk about first. So it's designed and made in Italy, okay? So how beautiful are they? It is just
the little finishing.
Don't talk about it yet. Don't talk about it. But first of all, hold them, just feel them. That feels official, okay?
Hey.
It's beautiful.
So presenting your paella in this.
Exactly. So what I love about it is it's got the patented whatever kind stainless steel base, which gives you even heat distribution. Now, I can testify to this. If you have a pot or a pan that gives you uneven heat distribution, you get hot spots. So your steak will sear really well on one side, but the other side will really not. So that's essential to cooking, and it just holds into heat so so well. The colors are also pretty important because you can then select which one you go for.
Which works in your quichonnes.
So I would definitely go for this beautiful. I mean,
I like that eggshell off-white. What is it? Champagne?
We're just going to say it's a champagne cream.
Champagne cream.
And then the matte black and the red as well. So striking
Beautiful,
because,
yeah.
like you said, they don't go into a cupboard.
No.
They stand on display. All right.
Completely.
Non-stick is essential.
Yes.
It just makes food. You sear beautifully with it. There's no mess. It is so effortless. It's easy. So it works while we're using on gas today. It works on a normal hob. It works on this old, whatever you've got. Okay. It'll work on it on induction, which is very, very, very important.
Does it work with induction as well?
It does. It does. And it goes into the oven at up to 250 degrees Celsius. So you can just pop this whole thing into the oven, which I think we're going to do right now.
Wow. I mean, what are you going to cook at more than 250 degrees? Nothing.
What are you doing?
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
You're going to heat coals for your sauna. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay, so we're going to make a beautiful little crumble, and I'm using some frozen berries, because, I mean, these just live in your freezer.
Yeah.
Get the heat on. It's just, honestly, you feel so treated when you have a beautiful piece of cookware.
Completely.
You cook with like a soundtrack in your head as you're doing it. Honestly, it's such a
What song's playing in your head right now?
It's a Mozart song.
Okay. Wow.
You see, I just threw that out there because I actually.
I was thinking like Vivaldi, Four Seasons.
Do you know the? Yes, love.
Because the berries and we've got like summer fruits and winter fruits and autumn fruits.
It is. Such a cultured man.
Eh?
Yes. Okay, butter going in, and we're going to start caramelizing the berries. So we're going to go, berries going in. They're quite tart. They're going to give us some nice sharpness and flavor. So a little bit of sugar is going to go in.
You want that? What don't you use butter for?
What don't you use butter for? Yeah, no, butter.
Do you use it because you've got beautiful skin as well? Do you use butter on your skin? And...
Grass-fed butter.
Really?
Only grass-fed. Only grass-fed. Okay, so got the heat on. The butter's going to start melting. Going to start mixing with those berries. Like I said, it's a little tart, so can you hit it with a little bit of the sugar in there?
A little bit to balance. Cool.
A lemon gold. Two things, a little more acidity going in there, but also brightens the flavors and brings out the flavor of everything else that you're busy cooking with.
So it's like the salt when you're baking with something with a dessert like this, a bit of that lemon gold is just going to elevate.
It brings the best out of the ingredients. So in life, you should just try and be a lemon gold and bring out the best in other people.
Completely.
You're coming through with the prophetic words today. It's not just about cooking. Okay, cool. The lemon juice goes in and immediately you can smell, it's almost weird, you can actually smell the berries more. Then pear, talking about winter.
It activates them, yeah.
It does, activate it. Can I put you to work?
Please,
right,
man,
so
I'm
you're gonna make
ready for you.
A little crumble for me, very simple.
Great.
Flour, sugar, we've got some coconut, got some oats, a bit of salt. We spoke about that.
Yeah.
And then butter. You're gonna get your little, the
My
tips of your fingers in
ready.
there.
Okay.
Everything goes in, you're just gonna crumble.
Apply the grace. So everything in and the butter, hey?
Yes.
All of the sugar. Is it
all of
sugar?
it, all of it, all
Really?
of it,
Sure.
yeah. So I'm going to talk about the pears. So
All
pears,
of those? All of those?
All of it. All of it. Pears, I've just taken the skin off, and you want to take the skins off because it's going to kind of like cook down slightly, it's going to become nice and beautiful, and you're going to just taste so much of it. So
I like the addition of coconut in this. It's going to give it a beautiful toasty vibe. Okay.
I agree with you.
Right.
You're doing it. Are you ready? Fingertips.
Let's go.
So crumbles are really amazing to make because you can absolutely use any single fruit that you've got in your fridge that you just want to use.
Yeah.
Okay. When
for
things
sure.
start looking a bit like.
I like the fact that we're using kind of like these warmer, wintry kind of for me, a pear is all about this season, but then sharpening it up with the beautiful summer berries and the fact that you can buy them at Woolies in a bag, frozen, pop them in your freezer, keep them there, awesome.
I feel like pears are like the cousin to the apple, and the apple always gets all the love.
Yeah.
And this is the season of pears, and I'm loving them, absolutely. So everything's happening, bubbling together beautifully. You're doing an amazing job.
Thanks, man. It's a messy job, but it's fulfilling.
It is, absolutely. So all you're going to do then is, that's the filling of our mixture done. You can add a little bit of cinnamon to it if you wanted to make it more, a little bit warming.
A bit more toasty vibes.
And a little bit of black pepper. Wow. Absolutely.
But that's the thing that black pepper goes well with berries. Like
it really does.
I've often had it with strawberries.
Yeah.
It'll be because it kind of opens the flavour up.
It also goes really well with pear. I honestly believe that. Okay, so give this a little mix. If you want, you can give it a little stir inside the pan. So what's going to happen is the pear is going to give off all its flavour. The berries are going to give off its colour and its flavour as well. Then we're going to take Graham's beautiful, beautiful crumble.
I think I've got it kind of as mixed.
Honestly, I couldn't have done it better myself.
Cool, you ready?
It's magic. There's a little, okay,
I'm
go
going to
straight
just
for it.
give it
And I'm going to pour.
rinse.
What you could do now, I'm talking to the camera because G's gone. You could literally pop this into a baking dish or cook it straight into the pan. That's what I'm going to do because I prefer one-pan dishes. And again,
Because
these are so
you can
beautiful.
use one pan in this case. Yeah.
And these are so beautiful, you're going to present it inside the dish.
pan.
You're going to show off. You're going to show off. Absolutely. So get that crumble over the top.
Beautiful. That's magic.
And I like quite a bit of crumble.
Yeah. Oh, no, you need the crunch to balance out the fruit. It's a crumble, so it must crumble, man.
It must crumble. That goes into the oven, and it comes out looking beautiful like that. So again, the fact that it's non-stick, and you get the pan, the big casserole pot, the higher pan, it's so versatile. There's nothing that you cannot cook with these. And the fact that it goes from stovetop to oven makes your life so easy.
How would you finish this guy off now in the oven?
A little bit of, oven.
Yeah.
A little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of brandy. And then you whip that up.
You're all about that, eh?
And then you serve it with that. Everybody's happy. And obviously, you don't have to add the brandy. A little bit of vanilla in there. Absolutely amazing.
Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to reopen the culinary hotline. Bling, ding, ding, ding.
Oh, wow.
Because we've had a lot of questions coming through as we do. Edwina Valentine saying, if you don't have self-raising flour, can you or I use cake flour and pour baking powder in it?
Because that's all that self-raising flour is.
Is flour with baking powder?
Yeah, that leavening agent in there. So what I can suggest you do is just, depending on how much flour you're going to use for your recipe, so say for instance it's 1 kg of flour, there's actually a ratio of how much baking powder to add to it, and then you sort it, don't have to worry about it at all. Self-raising flour is amazing, but if you don't have it, you're not stuck.
You're right, you're right. So Edwina, hopefully that answers your question. Faiza Madat Murat saying, Chef Clem, I was just wondering if you have as much fun in your own kitchen as you do on the show.
Every single time.
Really?
Every time.
I thought it was me. I thought it was me, man. You
Guys,
mean cooking
I've
alone?
actually got a
Yeah.
life-size cutout of Graham from when he was on SABC1. It's in my kitchen and it stands there.
I was quite buff then.
And
as
then
well,
I talked to Graham, to cut out Graham in the kitchen to have so much fun. But no, honestly, here's the truth. No, that is the truth. Also, when you cook, it's all about...
This is the younger version of myself. Oh, I don't have my phone with me. I don't have...
Someone's
Can I
taken
put it
our
on
phone.
speakerphone? Can I put it on speakerphone? Boop. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Who am I talking to?
You're talking to Monique.
Monique, you're through to the South African Post Office. How can we help you? No, you're not. You're through to Expresso. Monique, what is your comment or your question for Chef Clem?
Well, I try to make curry,
Uh-huh.
but it normally comes out like a stew. You don't taste the curry in the stew.
All right.
So I would like the sting of the curry to come through.
Are you saying it comes out like a stew in flavor or in texture?
In flavor.
In flavor. Okay, got you.
Yes.
So what you start off by doing is when you make your curry, you always start off with your onions. It's the most important thing. And your onions also have to cook low and slow till they get very well and deep and caramelized. You want their color in there. Then you add your spices to it. So when you add your spices to it, people get very scared when they have to add a certain amount of oil to a dish. But the truth of the matter is, when you make a curry, the flavor gets transferred into the curry through the oil. So add a little bit more oil than you would normally do with a stew, and you add your spices. Then you toast your spices in that oil, in the onions, and it'll transfer all that flavor into the oil. So the oil then becomes fragrant and then seasons your curry. Another thing very important, you can have the best curry spice blend in the absolute world. You won't taste the thing unless you add enough salt. So it's making sure you toast your spices really well in that oil, and then just season as you go, and make sure you add enough salt to it, and then you'll taste all the spices, you'll taste the flavors of it. And another thing I like telling people, if you have a good curry and you want to make it great, add curry leaves to your curry. It's an instant hit of everything curry, aroma-wise, everything's in the curry leaves. Add curry leaves to your curry, and it's going to taste amazing.
Monique, I can hear the cockerel in the background protesting because he thinks you're making a chicken curry today. So if you're going to make curry, don't make it a chicken one, make it a veggie curry. But some great tips there. Hopefully that's helped you out. Thank you so much. Great to connect with you this morning.
Thank you. All right, bye. Enjoy the day. Bye.
Have a pan.
Do I get a pan? Okay, I'm going to have a quick taste of this because it looks absolutely amazing. Whoa.
Right.
Crunch, crumble, and beautiful. So these pans, they are beautiful enough to bring to the table, or you can leave them on the hob and let them be visual kind of decorations in your kitchen. They're practical. if you want to store them away as well. Be sure to find the perfect match for your kitchen. Shop them at Woolworths, available in-store, online or on the app. And one very lucky viewer stands the chance of winning a 4-piece matte black Smeg cookware set to the value of 12,800 Rand. You've got to reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter page with hashtag Woolies Smeg to enter, and tell us what's the first meal you'd prepare in your Smeg cookware. The competition closes midnight Sunday, the 6th of June 2021. But find all the T's and C's at Expresso. We love you. We love you. Adios, muchachos. Oh.
Here's to family favorites and recipes passed from mothers to daughters. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.